here we are. So, what would you like to do?
So this is the next morning, correct?
This is the morning after you return from the graveyard. I think the
Gotcha.
only one who has managed to sleep well is Marigold.
Yeah. I thought Turk also had a full night's
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah, I did. I leveled up.
Right.
Yeah.
And if not mistaken, we were going to Callie and I were going to get on a horse and go after the wagon.
Well, at this point, we have two targets, and also we should leave together because there's no point in staying in Bree anymore if all the things that we were in Bree to handle are no longer in Bree. So, um, we only have one horse though. I am not sure if we have funds to rent a cart and horse.
If rental of livestock was a thing.
Well, you could certainly like rent horses, not like normal livestock, but there's this circumstance that we probably won't be bringing them back. So, purchase. I know I don't have enough money to purchase a single horse.
No, neither do I.
So, I think the best option is to take everyone who is injured slash slowed and load them onto the horse, and everyone else walks. So Maidhon, any of the hobbits who can't keep up with a 30-foot walking speed.
I'm fine.
So you're going to play the short leg card, are you?
I'm just saying we need to move faster than than we can, so I'm giving them the option of riding on a horse. But at the very least, I would, you know, I would be like, Maidhon, I think you should ride your horse.
Can he actually even be moved after such
Yeah. Yeah, technically he has 1 hit point, so he can.
However, I do remember last time you said that at the beginning of this session we would have taken a short rest, and so I could have done my healing.
Right. So if you did do the short rest, which would a short rest in this game, remember, is
Yes.
8 hours.
8 hours, yes. But that's the only way that. Well, so that's the question. If we didn't rest, then are we leveled up?
Yeah, I'll say you've leveled up, but
Okay.
Maidhon,
All right.
your hit points are still at 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All the more reason that he needs to be on the horse and cared for.
Yeah.
We can't afford to leave anyone behind.
Turk will go down to the stable and well, he'll go down to Barney, talk to Barney. So Barney, are there horses available?
Ooh, ask if they have like a small cart that a full-grown horse can pull. Because you
Barney,
guys could sit in the cart.
do you know of anyone who's selling a cart and a horse?
Well, I certainly am not. He scratches his head and says, all the livery that's in our stables now belongs to someone. And he look. Are you with him, Yucaliel, when he is down there? Or?
Yes, I will join Turk
Yeah.
and say, yes, as I spoke to you a little bit earlier about the issue with your stable hands giving away personal property, we are down some horses and carts, and we need to chase down the people that took them. So, if you could point us in the right direction of finding either a cart that Maidhon's horse can pull or another horse and cart, we would be appreciative.
Um, Again, I profusely apologize for my behavior of my stable boys. I can assure you that will never happen again. And in the meantime, until those goods are recovered, you have free room and board for you and your friends. Of course, I could not possibly charge you to stay here where your horse was stolen. That's just a
Thank you.
harsh word. But um, I have informed the wardens, and should that thief ever come back to town, she will certainly face justice. Um, and you, good sir, your cousin's cart and pony will also hopefully be recovered one day. And in the meantime, again, all you hobbits are more than welcome to stay here as long as you need to. Um, by the way, how long do you plan on staying in Bree?
I believe we need to leave as soon as possible. If we do have to stay a day, I don't think we should be staying more than that.
Indeed. Very well. Leave it to me then. You should all rest. It sounds like you had a very difficult night. In the meantime, I will send my manservant out to fetch to look for a cart and horse for you. Um,
Yes, if you could send them by the different gates and ask the guards there if they saw the horse or the cart and pony leaving, just so that we know which direction they might have gone.
of course, of course. Um, I'll do that quite well, quite immediately actually. And he kind of you see this burly man, kind of big hulk of man, kind of like Hodor, kind of ish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know why this window just popped up. Weird. Um, and he just calls out to him, Hob, um, come here for a moment, please. And you see this big lumbering man come walking over to you, and he relays the instructions to this individual, but you kind of have doubts as to whether or not he's got the mental capacity to carry it out.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems eager enough and friendly enough. After he's given the instructions, he starts lumbering out the door.
I only need a few more hours of sleep, so if we don't have information back after that, I can always check.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will. Um, oh, before I go to rest, I will ask if I can look in the room where the messenger was staying to see if anything was left behind.
Sure. Betsy takes you up there herself.
Okay. So that's what I'll be doing, is
Okay.
taking a look at that room.
And where have you guys left Maidhon?
If we're not leaving right away, I would leave him in the room that I rented for the two of us.
Okay, cool. And Goldie, are you sleeping now? Maria?
I think the moment that we realized that everything was gone, I would have just like found a bed and lay down. So I might be sleeping at the feet of Maidhon, just like a little cat. And then if there's two beds, maybe I stole Yucaliel. Sorry, because I wasn't there watching. Didn't watch.
Okay.
But yeah, just found the closest bed, ate the toast that Turk gave me, and went to bed.
All right.
This is not
And,
what I was expecting.
Yucaliel
And,
wouldn't mind. She doesn't actually sleep. She just meditates. She doesn't need to lay down.
and Marigold and Turk, what are you up to in this time?
Turk had a good rest. I think Mari, do you think we'd be safe to follow and maybe go to follow Hob to the gates? And because if he's not quite smart enough to remember which gate he maybe heard information from, maybe we should go along with him.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
If you have other plans, I can just go with Hob. That's fine too.
No, I think it's fine.
All right. Well, the three of you, Hob, this giant hulking man, and two hobbits that barely come up to his thigh, stand outside the Prancing Pony, and you can see Hob looking up and down the street, trying to decide which way to go. Shrugs his shoulders and starts heading off to his right, which is in the general direction of the west gate.
Okay. Well, so Mr. Hob, how long have you been working with Barney?
Many moons now. Since I was just a wee lad.
Ah, so born and raised in Bree, were you?
I'm a Breelander through and through.
Can you tell me about the school teacher? What can you tell me? Was she your teacher?
No, I always never learned how. Never didn't go to school.
Oh,
My pa didn't think it useful. But she seemed like a nice lady. Stood up for the young'uns.
and did you know that she went on long walks, midnight walks into the cemetery?
No, some folks say that, but I try not to listen to all that gossip and conjecture. That's the right word? Conject. That's the right word, right? No. She wanders, as anyone can.
Does she have any friends in town?
Well, the children seem to like her.
And last question. I thought Hob was one of the hobbits, the stable boys.
No, those are Bob and Nob,
Bob and Nob, okay.
and he is Hob.
Do Bob and he's Hob, okay. Do Hob and Nob, okay. Do the two stable boys go to school?
No, they work full time for the inn.
Oh, so who does go to school?
Children.
Any children in particular?
Oh, there's one, Violet. Violet, she's an eager student. You might see her sometimes at the inn. She's always poking fun at Matt, Mr. Mugwort. He's a sweet young child, though.
Okay. So are we at the Western Gate by now?
Yes, so you approach the west gate of Bree. Bring up that handout, you can see what that looks like. Where's that map of Bree? There it is. Look at this. You're down at the west gate is the one on the bottom of the screen. Of the map. You approach and Hob raises a massive hand at the gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper um, he looks back, and he's an elderly man, kind of wearing a leather cap. Says, so, what you doing in these parts, Hob? Not like you to be taking walks about town this hour. And Hob just kind of is about to speak, but then kind of forgets what he was there for.
Mari, you since you lost the cart and the pony, Bill. Not Bill. Ted. Bill and Ted.
Yep.
Did you want to describe the cart to the guard and maybe?
Yeah, Mario explained to the guard that a dwarf likely rode off in a hobbit cart with a pony and, all of the bit and bridle and tack and such. I'll try to describe to them, and give any bits of details about the cart and just say, how did you happen to seen that dwarf come through here? I'm
There
eager to try to get my cart back.
is no little no little master. Oh, not quite sure what to call a young hobbit lady. Sorry. But no, sir, no. No, ma'am. No dwarf came through these gates this morning. I've been here since the break of dawn, and you're the first ones to come by.
All right, I appreciate it. Could you keep your eyes out or tell the others coming around to keep a lookout, please?
Of course. And who may I ask is inquiring?
Marigold Banks. I'm at the Prancing Pony for at least the next day while we try to recover the cart and figure out travel.
He squints and leans in a little closer. Oh, I remember you. You came in that rainy, stormy night, in the middle of the night.
Indeed, we did, sir.
Oh, you lost your cart and your pony.
It was thieved.
Oh dear, this town. It's
Here.
not first
It was
two.
left at the Prancing Pony, and a dwarf rode off with it, it seems.
Troubling times, 2 murders, and now a thievery in span of just a couple of days. What does this town come to?
Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder if it's safe.
It's the shadow.
Indeed. And he starts to look a little nervous. Perhaps I should ask the Reeve to post a guard here with me, at least for the next little while.
It might not be a bad idea, sir.
I'll do that soon. Oh, Hob, how about could you send a word to the Reeve? Just one moment, and he ducks into his little house at that side of the gate. He emerges a few minutes later with a little letter that he gives to Hob and says, "Please pass this on to the Reeve for me, please." And Hob just gives him a salute, his meaty hand. And Hob looks confused once more.
I'll just look up at Hob and say, Hob, we're going to stop by the Reeves office after we visit all the gates.
And he says, okay.
And we'll deliver that letter then.
And he starts walking across the field towards number 2.
Just one question, Master Officer. Gate guard.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody pointed out to me that north of the school, if is up north on the diagram.
That's on top of Bree Hill, yes.
There's some roads that go further back. Do they go anywhere?
Of course, there's East Bree. Oh, some the folks of Eastbury prefer to call it Stadel. Stadel. I don't know what's the right way to say it. That's on the other side of Bree Hill. There is Combe and Archette and Chetwood. But there's no need to. I mean, no one ever uses those roads.
Now nobody uses those roads, but they are a wagon could go through those roads.
It would be a very rough ride with a wagon. It was
And
a steep.
if somebody had stolen the wagon, and since those roads aren't used, perhaps that would be a way that they may have gone.
Again, those would be very treacherous roads for a wagon. They're very steep and full of rocks. We would have a hard time on getting up Bree Hill in a wagon on those roads.
Okay. Do you know anybody up there that we could talk? Could we just approach people along that road if we have to and ask them if they heard any cart go by?
It's not for me to say. You're free to walk up there if you like.
Okay. Thank you kindly, sir.
Good day. And he slams the door in your faces. I'm
Did
gonna.
Hob pause for that, or did he just keep marching up the greenery?
He's still walking across the green towards number 2.
Got it. I'll wave at Turk to play catch up as I hustle after Hob.
Okay. Quite the sight of this lumbering man walking along this it's half hedge, half palisade structure that kind of borders, makes up the wall of Bree, followed by 2 little halflings that from a distance could be mistaken as children. Back at the Inn of the Prancing Pony, Betsy has escorted you, Yucaliel, up to the room where the messenger was resting. She opens the door for you and says, "That poor girl was not in any state to be traveling, I tell you. I fear for her."
So do I. I'm hoping to catch up with her. I think I'll ask her, does anything look different in the room than the last time you came in here?
Oh, you have a little bit of time if you'd like, if you want to poke around, make an investigation check.
Yeah,
You can
I
do
was
so.
just checking with her because she would have a better knowledge of like what the room might have looked like.
I'll let you roll with advantage then, because she is there.
Okay. Investigation. Okay.
See, all right. You look around. It does look like a few things were knocked over in haste.
Mhm.
Just like a little bedside table with some like bandages and clean cloths and towels and whatnot.
Does it
But
look
aside
like a struggle?
no, more
Okay.
like somebody just pushed it out of the way to get to the messenger, haul her
Faster. Yeah.
out of bed, and drag her out.
Okay. So she may have gone willingly. Maybe.
Now, Betsy tells you, like, she is drifting in and out of consciousness. I don't know how willing anyone could be in that state.
Well, I know that she was looking for the school teacher, but considering our interactions with the woman, I don't know that she would necessarily be safe having found her. Do I see
You,
any personal effects in here with my investigation?
no. The only thing that this, the messenger came in with, what's her original cloak and whatnot, and you can rummage through those, and those have been cleaned and as best they can, but they're stained and they're worn pretty well. The bag that she was carrying, that was taken by
Yeah, by Turk.
Turk. other than that, there was really no other clothing or any other possessions.
Okay. Hmm.
So,
Okay. I will just thank Betsy and say, if you do see the schoolmistress in town again, I would advise you to call the wardens or the reeve or someone, because she attempted to murder my companion and she kidnapped this woman and put her life in danger. So if she does come back, stay safe and call the authority, or contact the authorities. I can't hear you.
you mean she puts a hand to her mouth, an exclamation, and she's. You mean to say that our schoolmistress Anna Wintermouse, that tiny woman, is
Yes.
responsible for your friend?
Yes. She stabbed him in the back of the head with a stiletto. I'm sure she's kind to children, but that doesn't mean she's safe.
Can you make a persuasion check followed by an insight, please?
Okay. Okay. I'm not great at persuasion. um, ooh. No. I was gonna say I could use Rhymes of Lore but I haven't actually rested yet, so I can't. Okay. Okay. Followed by insight, you said?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Oh wow.
All right. Betsy just has this look of sheer shock,
Mm-hmm.
disbelief, but she's as her eyes are wide and her mouth is kind of open, and she's like kind of nodding at you, kind of trying to take this in. Um, and she says, oh, your friend, he needs taken care of. Um,
Yes, we've
um,
bandaged his wounds and he's resting.
well, if there's anything you need, I'm certainly not as I don't have your elf magic to help with the healing process, but um, if there's anything I can do to help your friend, please do let me know.
Of course. We are currently staying right across the hall if you'd like to check in on him. He might be sleeping right now, but if there's anything, that you are able to do to ease his healing process, I would appreciate it.
I'll do what I can, but I'm no elf. But I'll ensure that the servants and whatnot uh, do not disturb him.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and so
And
I must
I
get
will.
back to the kitchen. If you don't,
Hmm.
if you can excuse me.
Yeah, I will. I will walk out of the room and thank her.
All right. And she closes the door and locks it behind her and uh, bustles down to the kitchen.
All right, and I will return to my room and begin meditating.
All
I
right.
think I only need to meditate for another 2 hours before I'm ready to go.
Okay. Gonna bring up the map of Bree again, and Hob, Turk, and Marigold are now approaching what's known as colloquially as the Ranger's Gate or the North Gate of Bree. It's called the Ranger's Gate because nobody but Rangers tend to use it, because it's typically on an unused road. Nobody heads north. Nothing but wilderness and nothing up there. But the Rangers often come in and out of town this way. It's not guarded when you approach. It's not really so much as a gate as it is almost like I don't know if you could even call it a door. It's more like a bunch of pieces of wood kind of stacked together to block a hole.
So I guess
Oh,
Hob just thought that we should go up here then. Ah, are there, since it was raining, do we see wagon tracks?
Can you make a hunting check for me, please?
I can do so. Oh, I need to close the map first. That's skills. Is that nature instead of hunting? No. Oh, there it is at the bottom. Um, do, since it was raining, is there any buff on the roll?
No, but Marigold, while he's looking around for wagon tracks, what are you up to?
I actually have the same idea. I was just looking for anything indicating that the horse, pony, and cart, horse or pony and cart had come through this way, and kind of trying to keep an eye on Hob too to see if he's nosing about anything. Just because he's the local.
Okay. Well, I'll allow this. Either you can both roll a hunting check, or one of you can roll with advantage.
It's one of my skills, so I've got a nice player buff.
Yeah, I'm happy to give him advantage.
All right. Roll again.
I'm going to have to roll again.
All right. With that dirty 20, what you're able to discern as you poke around, no wagon carts, but you do see hoof prints. And it does look like this hole in the hedge/wall has been disturbed recently. You see pieces of lumber and wood kind of just have been kind of pushed to the side hastily, kind of haphazardly replaced. But clearly somebody has moved through here recently on horse with a horse.
And how many horses were in the stable when we arrived? Which was just literally a day or two ago, right?
How many horses were in the stable?
Yeah.
You don't know. You never counted. But there was more than just the two of yours.
Okay. But not pony-sized tracks.
No, these look like bigger than pony.
Okay. Okay.
In the meantime, Hob, you see kind of just poking around in the hedge, just kind of pulling down like vines and stuff. He seems kind of bored, not really paying attention.
Hob, do you know who lives, and I'll point out the nearest house. Who lives in that house?
He looks over, kind of puts his hand up to his, just gives a shrug.
You don't know who lives there?
He shakes his head. No.
Okay. We have to walk that way anyways. We have to cross Bree. Perhaps let's stop there and politely knock on the door. Perhaps the owners or somebody is out doing field work or something. We can talk to them and ask if they heard anybody come by.
Okay. You make your way back along this relatively unused road, kind of overgrown, back towards the center of Bree. You approach his house. It looks like a simple homestead. There's a bit of livestock out back. It looks to be a barn back there. Looks like a small farm.
Is there anyone out working it at the moment, or any indication that they might be inside the house?
You do see a couple. See the man kind of like out there feeding the livestock, and a woman looks like she's like hanging up laundry.
I'll just give him a friendly neighborly wave, like, we do proper in Buckland, and just kind of try to start making my way towards him. If there's, a little dirt trail or anything like that cutting across a path at some point, I'll definitely stick to that so I'm not trotting over everything.
Yeah. Well, they have spotted you. Obviously, you waved at them. They look back at you. They see the direction you're coming from. They kind of narrow their eyes, and you can see the man kind of signal to his wife, and she immediately pulls up all the laundry and rushes into the house and closes the door behind her. The man grabs a pitchfork and starts walking towards you.
When he gets close enough that I wouldn't have to shout to him, that I could just speak loudly so he could hear me comfortably, I'll start talking at him and just, howdy there, sir. Just asking for a bit of help if I could.
He kind of levels his pitchfork at you and just, what's your business here?
Looking for a lost cart and a horse and rider, actually. Myself and some friends were staying at the Prancing Pony and had my family's farm cart and pony rode off with, same as a friend's horse and a companion of theirs kidnapped out the gates, and just trying to see if anyone might have seen someone rushing through the hedge and palisade that way.
Can you please make a persuasion check?
Sure thing.
Better you than Turk.
Wow. He looks at you, and the fact that it is a young hobbit lady that is speaking to him kind of allays some of his fears that you are not some murderous bandit coming into the North Gate. And kind of relaxes his grip on his pitchfork and says, No, you wouldn't be able to fit a cart through that hole in the wall anyway. I wish they would just nail that thing shut for good. Nothing but trouble comes through that gate.
Nothing but trouble, huh? I'm sorry to hear that, with your farm being so close. But you understand how it is. I mean, you gotta try to pursue every avenue you can if you're looking for something you lost. And, well, figured, who knows, they might have had some magic up their sleeve or something like that. Or maybe just the horse got away. But thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your eyes.
Oh,
And if you do happen to see something, could you send word to Marigold Banks? That's me, at the Prancing Pony.
he says, hold up there just a moment there, young lady. You wouldn't happen to be the Banks of the Banks honey farm?
Out of Newbury and Buckland, yes, sir.
One moment, please. And he rushes into the house and says, Marcy, you got young lady Banks out here, the one that makes all the honey. And you can see the woman kind of rushing out there, kind of like, oh, and he runs over to you, Marigold, and starts shaking your hand vigorously as he bends down.
Well, sir, to be fair, the bees do most of the honey making. My family just collects it.
Yes, but your honey's a miracle. It saved our young boy. And
it saved your boy, huh?
It did. He scraped his knee one day very, very badly, and we just smeared the honey on. It was good as new the next day, and it might have been that he also licked it all off himself too, but it is mighty tasty after all. I just want to thank you personally.
Well, thank you. I'll pass it on to my mom and pa. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, there's...
I'm sure that's one use my mother never tried putting honey to, though.
I'm totally... can we offer you a tea? Your hobbits. Surely you must want your second breakfast by now.
Oh, we could certainly take a snack. We've been walking from the East Gate all this way. Well, we walked from the Prancing Pony down to the East Gate, then this way. I'm sure I could convince our guide to take a snack too.
Hobbs' eyes just kind of light up at the thought of being fed. You'll never say no to that. And she
But I
ushers
wouldn't want
you.
to keep you from your chores. I saw
I said,
your
no, no,
lovely wife packing up the line.
no trouble at all. And she ushers you into her small kitchen. It's a modest kitchen, but very well stocked, very well cleaned. And you see up on the shelf like several jars of Banks's honey.
I'll give Turk a little elbow in the side and just kind of grin. You know, if I had braces on, my thumbs would be behind them.
You're a rock star.
She immediately starts setting out tea and cakes, and you can see the husband just kind of standing there, grinning ear to ear now, just kind of standing there in the doorway, awkwardly watching you, smiling.
Oh, well, you know, it does occur to me you've got me at a bit of a disadvantage here, ma'am and sir. You know me as Marigold Banks, but I don't think I've caught your names.
Oh, uh, this the man's speaking. This is Marcy McDuff, and you can call me Glenn. I'm Glenn McDuff. We're just humbled that you are in our home, and happy to share second breakfast with you.
Mr. and Miss McDuff, thank you so much for your hospitality.
Now, Mari. Am I incorrect in thinking that there was honey on the back of that cart that was stolen from us? From you?
There would have been a parcel lot still, yes.
Oh my
Heading to market.
You see their expressions of just utter horror across the farmer's face and his wife. No. Certainly you.
I'm afraid so.
What will you do?
Well, unfortunately for me, it'll have to be a little bit of a loss in the bank and some shame having to report it back to my family. It was my first trip out delivering sales, actually, and it's sad to say, but it's all kind of gone to pot.
No. The farmer says, no, Glenn McDuff. No. We'll have none of that. Your cart was stolen. Your pony along with it and your goods. What will you use to deliver your honey? How will you transport it to Bree?
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion the camaraderie and neighborhood spirit of hobbits is going to leave us packing out with our neighbors for a bit here until we build up the money to have a woodsman or a carpenter write us up a new cart.
You see the farmer and his wife exchange a look and say, well, we'd be happy to help until you're able to, afford and purchase a cart and new pony for yourself. We have an old cart that we're not using. It needs a little bit of love and perhaps a little a fresh coat of paint or tar. But it'll do in a pinch if you like. And Marcy, the wife, says, "What? Well, what about Barney? We give them Barney." And the farmer glances. He kind of furrows his brow a bit. Barney's been a good pony, but we put him out to pasture already. I don't know if. I mean, he might have a few trips to the Shire in him yet, but I wouldn't expect too much of him. He's an older one.
Well, I'm gonna blow their farmer minds, and I'm gonna just tap conspiratorially on my nose and say, I don't think we'd be needing Barney if you have tack enough for a full riding horse. A friend of mine has an elf-raised horse with her.
Their eyes grow big,
And I'll just give a wink.
and they kind of like rub shoulders with each other. And say, oh, look at young Miss Banks here. She rubs shoulders with elves, no less. Maybe that's why her magic is so, her honey is so magical.
And healing.
Of course, we don't have anything so fancy enough for an elf horse, but we have some for regular horses, if that'll do.
In the situation that we've all been left in, I don't think we could be too choosy. Your kindness is so more than enough, or anything that I could ask for.
Perhaps we
our
can
pleasure.
arrange for honey deliveries to them.
Oh, certainly. I could send a letter back to Newbury.
Would you? Perhaps.
Oh, certainly.
Perhaps maybe have a special blend of honey, the McDuff blend.
I think that's something that could be explored. Good, Mr. McDuff.
It's splendid. Well, what a blessing and fortune it has been for you for us to cross paths this morning. And here I was thinking you'd come to rob us.
Oh, goodness, no. The thought would never cross my mind. This
Hey,
one, though, and I'll point a silly yet accusatorial finger at Turk. Oh, this man, you wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. Let me tell you the stories.
And they both look at you, Turk, with narrow eyes.
I'm teasing, of course. This is a good cousin of mine.
Any friend of Miss Banks is a friend of ours. And as you are finishing your second breakfast there over nice tea and crumpets, I'm going to switch back to in the Prancing Pony, because you guys have probably spent the rest of the morning there, as they will not relent in their praise of your honey and the fact that they're awestruck and starstruck that you are in their presence. By this point in time, I'll say Goldie and Maidhon, you are... Go ahead and take your short rest. If you have Maidhon, you want to start spending some of your hit dice.
I will use my whatever it's called, my new ability, Hands of a Healer, to help him with his short rest. So he gets an additional D6 hit points for each hit die he spends.
D6, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
That way you don't have to spend as many hit dice.
And while Yucaliel is expertly tending to Maidhon's wounds and helping him heal, Goldie, what are you up to?
So yeah, Goldie was just keeping an eye on everyone in the room, making sure they were not dead, and just like going and checking. Okay, just eating. And once I see them doing that, I feel like Goldie would be very curious about it, but at the same time it's breakfast time, and the day before she didn't eat anything, so I'm like,
Hobbit's gotta eat.
Yucaliel, next time, like I don't want to bother you, but next time maybe we're traveling together. Kinda would like to really, really learn some of this. Do you guys want some breakfast or something, though?
Of course, that's fine. Whatever you can scrounge up.
As you
Amazing.
say this, you just hear a very quiet little knock on the door.
Could you get that for me, Goldie? I'm busy dealing with bandages.
Okay. Are we okay? Opening doors? Not going. I'll open.
You see
Little-
Betsy standing there with a big tray of breakfast. I just realized you haven't eaten yet, and you must be famished. And she just passes in the cart and kind of tries to look past you to see Yucaliel administering healing hands to Maidhon. I've never seen elf magic before. And she's just really curious and trying to look past you.
I'm
I'll
literally just like winding bandages and cleaning wounds. I'm like, this isn't magic.
I will like put the tray down and just close a little bit and be like, 1 second. I'm like, do you want her to come and see?
I don't have a problem with it. There's nothing secretive in what I'm doing.
And the wind's in the hand, so I'll open the door and I'll just like take the tray and just like sit and watch too and eat. I'll bring and I'll just like feed them if they want to. I'll peel an
Okay.
apple.
Betsy sits down beside you and starts snacking on the food too and watching.
And then my crackers. No.
Yes.
So, Maidhon, I'm guessing you only need to spend 1 hit die and you're full up?
I mean, did I not need to roll them?
You do have to roll
You
your
do.
hit
I
die.
see
Okay.
you rolled 8 hit points recovered.
Yeah.
So you
'cause
should be
I'm
at
not
9 now.
full up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not full up, but I'm better than I was.
Yeah.
You can roll another one if you want. You got 2 of them now.
I don't want to use them all. I'll wait.
Okay.
Quick
Right.
question, if I may.
Mhm.
I seem to have 11 hit points currently. I don't know if I had taken damage during the cemetery. I guess I did.
You did, so you're probably wounded still too. So and your short rest, you can
Yes.
spend a hit die to recover some of your damage.
And roll die 8.
Yep, that'd be D8.
Okay, this. Oh, here we go. Okay, I got it. Oh, 5's better than a kick in the head.
And you have 2 of them now. You're level 2, so you can roll another one if you want.
Oh, well, he's probably not resting in the same place.
No, he would not have.
Okay.
He would not have your elvish magical healing
Yeah.
on hand.
One thing Goldie's gonna be doing too while eating and watching is write a letter home so I can replace the one that I sent, which was like, everything's nice. We're not gonna do that. I have it written down. I'll send it to you later.
Okay, cool.
Just leave it. Just do a little swap with the letters.
All right. So while you're writing this letter, watching Yucaliel administer to Maidhon and Betsy sitting beside you, she kind of looks over, glances over, and says, "Are you writing a letter home?"
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, when you're done with it, just give it to me, and I'll be sure that it gets sent straight away.
Thank you. I make sure to do that.
Of course. And then she turns her attention. She's focusing intently on every movement that Yucaliel makes. Just, you can see her trying to mimic the movements every once in a while too. And Maidhon, you stir from your well, basically near-death state, feeling a lot better.
I'm assuming there's some kind of like a soup on the tray of food, and I will pass it to him once I'm done handling the bandages.
If Goldie has not eaten it yet. Mhm.
Maidhon drinks the soup, it leaks out the back of his neck.
That's not how that works.
It'd be funnier if it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will have some of the soup. What's happened? What's going on?
Well, um, as far as we can tell, Jari has absconded with the pony and cart and the box that Turk and Marigold were guarding, and the schoolmistress has absconded with my horse and the messenger. So we are now down to your horse.
That is unfortunate.
Yes. Um, some of the hobbits are out visiting the gates to get information as to whether anyone saw people leaving, so we know which direction they're going to be going. But we also probably need to find some additional modes of transportation.
I'd say at this point in time,
Would they
Turk,
come
and
back?
that they would have come back with the promise of that cart. But I mean, obviously, you're going to have to bring your horse there and pick it up.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So that's a nice silver lining.
So now that you're all together and Maidhon is conscious and everyone has rested and fed, you all can come up with a plan. And Betsy, by the way, has gotten up and returned back to the kitchen. Take care of the
Gotcha.
common.
Ah, Master Maidhon. I'm so glad to see that you're got some color back on your face.
And not the red sort.
Yes, yes. Good to see that you still have a sense of humor. You wouldn't. You must know more than the common person. How about those roads up through Bree Hills? Could somebody have taken a cart or taken the horse up through there to try to avoid going through the more populated areas?
It's possible. Would Maidhon is that a dangerous route? Would Maidhon know? He
Well,
should, because
it is what the gatekeeper did mention. I mean, there are. It's more for horses and people. They are kind of very rough. Cart would have a really hard time traversing, going over Bree Hill.
Well, I meant more in terms of is it hazardous because of uh, wildlife or
Oh
other
no,
dangers?
no. Bree Hill is pretty tame. It's just kind of barren. There's not much
Okay.
going on up there. It's just a big rock, big hill. No
Then,
one really goes over Bree Hill either to get to Stadel and the other communities on the other side. They usually take the road around.
Okay. Then yeah, it would have been difficult to take the cart, but a horse couldn't make the journey.
You're muted, Bandy.
Sorry. I report seeing the disturbance at the ranger gate and the fact that somebody had hastily went through and were riding a horse. And the tracks were left in the mud.
So that could have been my horse with the schoolmistress and the messenger.
Quick question. Out of game, would the elves have shooed their horses differently than humans. Would
Even
the
if they
elven-
did, even if they did, you wouldn't be able to tell. You're
Not even
neither
a
a
ranger?
smith. You're neither a smith nor an elf, so they're just hoof prints to you.
Oh no, I'm not saying myself, but would. Okay, so anyways, I've put that out there.
Yeah, you can always lead us there and we can look at it. Like I maybe would be able to notice.
Or a ranger.
Yeah. We need to you told us about the cart, right?
Well, we need to
Okay.
head that way anyhow.
Yeah, we need to bring Maidhon's horse there to hitch to the cart. We can take a look at it. But that begs another question. If they did go in two separate directions, what are we prioritizing? Did you find any sign of Jari's travel outside of Bree? Did you visit all the gates?
I think we got tied up with second breakfast and we didn't go to the eastern gate.
Priorities.
Yucaliel sighs heavily.
Well,
We please, cousin, go ahead.
process of elimination. If he didn't go out the west gate and he didn't go take the cart through the ranger door, he's got to have gone the other way.
Or he
Which
never
was
left Bree.
time for second breakfast.
That's also a
Also-
possibility. He may never have left Bree, but that would be very stupid. Which direction do we know? Because he wanted to go for that treasure. Was the treasure out in that direction? Heading out the east gate?
Yeah, it generally was, yes.
Okay. So he would be going in that direction.
So again, you had mentioned we need to prioritize here.
Prioritize.
Yes, is the dwarven brooch and Jari, or the school teacher and the deliverer, the messenger? We've already got the message.
I swore to bring the messenger safely to
That's right,
Elmatris.
right.
Life and limb over personal property.
So we are going to be heading along that road out the east gate once we've retrieved the messenger anyway, because that's the direction we need to travel to go where we're going, correct?
Once
That's
we
the
get
road that Maidhon and I came in on when we were coming to Bree?
You came in through the east gate, yeah.
Yes. So I think, because Jari's going to go for the treasure, and once he gets there, he's going to get it all by himself. He was too afraid to do it by himself. He'll probably be sitting around waiting, and we'll find him along the way. That the messenger might die. So, but of course, that is my mission. That is not all of your missions. So,
well, let's go pick up the cart and let's see what the hoof prints might tell you.
of course.
I will tell you this, because you do have a ranger in your party. A couple things. First of all, you do recall Gandalf said he had to go north to take care of some business. So, don't know what that was about. Also, Maidhon, you're familiar with what's north of Bree, and there's a whole lot of nothing up there, except danger. Eventually, the road will eventually take you to the ruins of Fornost. But again, that's not a very safe place to travel.
Yeah, so I think that's probably important to get them before something happens.
All right. So by this time, it's about mid-afternoon, probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You make your way back to the Macduff farm.
Bringing Maidhon's horse along with us.
Okay. And you're all there? Okay.
I think so. I think we should all be there because we can just leave straight from there if we need to.
Okay. So you all arrive, and again, Marigold, you're greeted with fanfare, and they're fawning over you. And this time they have their young son with them. He's maybe about 12 years old, and the mother's trying to point out this boy's knee and how it has healed so well, and the boy's like slapping her hand away, trying to stop his mother from fussing over him. Rather annoyed. But they take you to the cart, and Farmer Macduff was not kidding when he said it was in rough shape. It is a miracle that it actually moves, and as it does so, it makes the loudest squeaking noises you can imagine. You can see a lot of the boards are loose and looks like they're about to fall off unless you replace them or find some way to bind them down into place. But at least it has 2 wheels and some pieces of wood and nailed together. But yeah, it's in rough shape.
Just smiles all around. Just that is a cart. That is certainly a cart.
Maybe
Perhaps
we can use some of that magical honey to grease the wheels.
Perhaps Zurich might know some things about helping to repair this cart, and maybe he does some of that while we explore to the north.
Actually, if you remember, DM or LM, I had asked about where I could get carpenter's tools.
And you have yet to find those. There is a woodworker in town. Keep in mind, Zurich is a stonemason, so he's not really a Wainwright or anything like that. He wouldn't know how to fix this cart. But I mean, if you hang around in town enough, you can find one.
I do have tool proficiency. I just don't have the tools.
Well, perhaps we should. Well, why don't we try to check out the woodworker, see if we can purchase a set of tools from them, possibly for the future, but at the very least,
just to save some time, I'll say you can find a woodworker in town. Spend the coin, however much it costs in the book for your tools. Not in the D&D book, but in the
Lord of the Rings book.
Lord of the Rings book.
Yeah.
Does anybody have that handy?
I do. Hang on. It's called
Carpenter's tools, I think.
Carpenter's tools.
Or woodworking, maybe woodworking tools.
I am looking for tools. Here we go. Carpenter's tools, 8 silver.
And
have 8?
I have 8 silver. Does anyone have some silver so that I'm not paying for the whole thing?
Let's all chip in. Considering it's a communal wagon.
Yeah.
Where do we find out how much money we started with?
It is under your lifestyle. So whatever lifestyle it says for your race, I believe, or your I don't remember what they're called. Your
culture, yeah.
Yes. It'll say what your lifestyle is, and then when you go to the starting gear, which is page 70, it'll say frugal, common, or prosperous. Okay, so rangers are frugal, so you would have started with 10 silver.
Okay.
And I am prosperous, so I started with more than that.
Rich elf.
Yep. Only the
Hoity
high elves are rich. The normal ones are frugal.
hoity-toity.
Yep. So
So
yes, if you guys want to pitch in like 1 to 2 silver each, I can cover the rest of it.
Turk, by the time it takes you to find the tools, buy the tools, get back to the farm, and then work on the cart, this is going to take you the rest of the day easily.
So we can't move. We can't. There's absolutely no way to hook the horse up and get moving right away.
Well, I
Things
think
need.
it's probably best if it's like that, because if we hook the horse up to the cart, we can't take the north road because it specifically won't work with a cart. So maybe we take it to the woodworker and then head north and then come back.
I mean, I think leaving that up to Turk to figure
Yeah.
out how he wants to spend the time. I mean,
Well,
some of us could, of course, go, tracking, this rider and horse that we don't even know if is Winter Moss. And, Turk and maybe anybody else could stay behind to lend a hand and try to give him advantage or anything, doing the repairs.
Quick question before we get too far ahead with that planning. When I show the tracks to the ranger,
Yes.
what
Well,
does?
I wanted to interject here. No, like everyone is just taking for granted that Bathron will be hooked up to this cart, but Bathron is a steed. Like he's
Yeah.
not a
I
dray
know,
horse.
but we just don't have much of a choice.
Well, I mean, he may have an opinion on the matter, and Maidhon might have an opinion on the matter.
Well, I can handle the horse. All I have to do is talk to him. You can handle yourself.
So
Just a
the track,
situation we just have
track.
one horse. Yes, the tracks. So Yucaliel and Maidhon can take a look at the tracks.
All right. So, Maidhon, are you good with that? You to check out the tracks anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead.
I can
Again,
give him assistance. 'Cause
sure.
I don't think I'm actually good at whatever
I
that
need you
is.
to make a hunting check for me, please, so we can see what these tracks are all about.
Okay, and I'm getting assistance.
Yes, I will assist you.
Natural 20.
Of course. Now
yes.
now I get a natural 20.
Oh God, that's good. I mean, before last game, you couldn't roll over 5. Jeez.
Right. Even when I was dying and I absolutely needed to.
Yep.
This track was I mean, the tracks were a clutch roll though.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you this much. With this, you notice if there are footprints about. You recall the size and the general weight of Anna Wintermoss. These footprints that accompany the horse are much bigger. A man's foot.
This is not the schoolmistress.
So perhaps she didn't go to the north? Or perhaps she met up with someone? I don't know.
Would they be about the size of the woodsman?
Yeah, I feel like those would be very large.
No.
Yeah.
This is a normal man-sized foot.
Okay.
There are horse prints though, right?
There are hoof
She,
prints, yes.
she could be riding on the horse while someone is walking alongside of her.
Well, it would be 2 people riding the horse. Because she brought the messenger with her.
Okay, but what I'm saying is there could be an additional person walking alongside of her. A
Yeah,
man.
and that's why I said that, like, there might have been another one of these assassin people here in the town, and she might have met up with them, but we don't know.
With that natural 20, just because it was a natural 20, I'll give you the horseshoe thing that Turk mentioned before. This is not an elf horse.
Okay.
Yeah. So they didn't go
Okay.
this way. They probably went to the east. So we should check the east gate and find out if anybody went through there, just to be sure.
I'll work on the cart. I'll work on the cart. So,
Okay.
does anybody
right.
want to maybe assist me so that I can get a advantage?
Farmer Macduff
I
insists that Marigold stay.
I can assist you with my rhymes of lore as well as just the help action, because I can now do the help action as a bonus action, so I can still do other things, or I can do it as a main action because rhymes of lore is a bonus action. But yes, I can assist.
Okay.
So that'll help speed it up and make sure that it's good. Is that
We'll see how
the-
many how good your roll is.
Okay.
So maybe Maidhon, and if Marigold is staying, then
What's
Maidhon
Goldie
and
up to?
Goldie. The
So-
gate crew again.
Yeah. Goldie's having flashbacks here.
It's broad daylight. You're fine.
Died. But I don't want to leave my cousin alone. Can we just like hold it for a minute to see what the farmer wants? Because I don't want to leave Marigold alone. And then we can all go to the gate. Is that something we can do? Is it?
Yeah, Farmer Macduff invites you all to stay for what is it? Second lunch, or he doesn't know what hobbits eat.
Tea time. Tea time.
Tea time.
It's 11 feast.
Probably tea, yeah.
I feel like
And then
Yucaliel would
dinner even.
decline only for the sake of the fact that she knows that these repairs are going to take a while, and so she's like, we really need to get working on these repairs. We don't have time to sit down and eat again.
And I feel like because of the card's gonna take so long, I feel like we can do staying with Marigold and
Oh,
like,
yes,
leaving one person
absolutely.
alone.
Yeah, Yucaliel and Turk. Yucaliel
Yeah.
would like to go with Turk
Yeah.
to get the repairs done. You guys can stay with the farmer and everything.
I just have a quick question for Maidhon. I just want to circle back to what you had mentioned before. Is Maidhon okay with his horse being used to pull this rickety old cart?
I think we need to talk to Bathron.
Yes,
Or Yucaliel needs to.
Yes, before we go, I will go and have a deep one-on-one conversation with the horse, which I would just like to say, I love how no one has called Yucaliel out on her strange behavior with the animals yet. I just love
We've got
it.
20 years. At this point, I assume that everyone that's an elf can talk to animals, and they're like
Yeah, come on.
"What
Elves
the
are
hell?"
Humans. You don't
That's
question
fair.
us having lunch, luncheon, high tea, dinner, supper, breakfast.
I feel like
second
Yucaliel
breakfast.
does complain about that, though.
Right, but understand it's a thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, elves just talk to animals
Talk to animals,
and
yeah.
magically heal people and anything else.
Well, I will go talk to Maidhon's stallion.
Barthon. All right.
Yeah.
You can tell immediately as you approach him that he is annoyed at the thought of having to pull a cart, especially a cart that looks like that. He
Don't
is
worry,
a
we are going
noble
to repair the cart.
steed of elven kind. He's used to being ridden by elven ladies and princesses, and not pulling garbage like that around.
I
So
will
he might-
just remind him that this is so that we can rescue his fellow elvish stallion.
What you're saying is that he barely tolerates Maidhon riding him.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Also, I do still have some of the apples left. So I will pull out one of the Rivendell apples and I will hold it out to him and I will say, if you agree to pull this cart, I will give you this apple. And when we're done, I will give you another.
Bribery. All right. Go ahead and make a. I'll give you your choice: persuasion or animal handling with advantage.
Animal handling. I am geared to use animal handling.
Okay.
Okay. Advantage.
Nice. That's good. So the rest of you kind of see Yucaliel huffing and puffing away, stamping her feet, kind of in front of his horse, and they seem to be having a conversation. But eventually, Barthon just kind of lets out a big, as just kind of resigns himself to the fact that he has to pull this piece of junk.
And then I hold out the most beautiful apple you've ever seen, and I give it to him.
Okay.
Bathron,
Sorry,
yeah.
Bathron. Thank you. He also reminds you that he does want to find the other horse.
Yes.
As long that's the key motivating factor for him.
Yes, we will find Bethril and bring him back.
Roll for carpenter's tools.
Yes, please.
I have. I had to add them. They weren't on the list, so I just created a new entry. So I just click on that, and
you have your proficiency, I think.
Yeah. So we'll say it is a dexterity check, and then you can add your proficiency bonus to it.
And then do it with advantage. And just in case we need to do more than one roll, I will tell you a quick rhyme about the masterful woodworking skills of the elven woodworkers.
and Turk's just shaking his head and going, baling wire, spitting baling wire. Okay, so I can see actions, I can see skills.
So it's your dexterity. Let's click on dexterity, and it's going to be an ability check. And we'll add 2 to the roll for your proficiency bonus, and you can roll with advantage. Sorry.
Okay, and you also have I believe it's a D6 from, hang on, let me double check if it's a D6. Yes, it is a D6. Yep.
All right. So it's a 13 plus a D6. So 19. All right. With a 19, you're able to, it's touch and go for a little bit as you kind of wonder if this thing's going to hold together with the nails you're putting into it. The boards are splitting here and there, but it takes you a little longer than you hoped. But by evening, or by the time supper rolls around, you have a functional cart ready to, that's sturdy enough to carry people and things, and it won't fall apart on you.
Okay, so hopefully after Turk spent a lot of time on this. Hopefully the others are going to be gathering provisions for our trip.
Indeed.
All right. Well, Farmer Macduff and his wife, Marcy, have gathered enough provisions for you to last 3 days.
Ooh, that's nice.
Gathered enough provisions for tall folk or hobbits?
Hobbits eat the same amount as tall folk. So.
Yeah, because they eat so often, it balances out. So, like, the hobbits eat.
Oh, I was figuring
more
they ate more on
than-
average.
Fair.
That's true.
But Yucaliel barely eats anything at all, so I think it really evens out.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So it is getting late on in the day. I mean, you guys have just finished supper. And Farmer McGuff says, well, you're more than welcome to stay the night if you like and get an early start the next day. Got plenty of room in the barn. I mean, it's not the inn of the Prancing Pony, but I mean, it is comfortable.
I will sort of like whisper to Maidhon that we still have free rooms at the inn and that he, at the very least, should sleep somewhere a little more,
Cozier.
Sanitary.
Yeah.
a
Well,
little bit
Farmer
more sanitary.
McGuff also says, well, and you can be assured that you will not have your horse or your cart stolen here.
Thank you.
Or should we get going? What's everyone's thoughts? Get
Well,
going
it's
or
nighttime.
another
We need
night?
to sleep,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, Maidhon needs to rest at least.
Yeah. Because otherwise we're just going to be traveling and becoming exhausted again. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, we have to give it another day.
So we're what, a day or 2 days behind now?
They left in the early hours of the morning this morning. So, it'll
So a day
be a
behind.
day tomorrow, a day and change.
Yeah.
So, and
All
we're
right.
going to be moving slower than them.
Okay.
Question.
So-
Okay. Back to the Prancing Pony.
All right.
I have a question.
Here.
I picked up Leechcraft. Can that be used on oneself or only on
Yes.
others?
Yes, you can. You can use it
Oh,
on yourself.
well, let's see.
Let's hear it for the leeches.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
He took
How often?
crafts because I
How often are craft slots
You
recovered?
get
Is that
the
a-
amount of craft slot. Oh, they're recovered after a long rest, I believe.
Okay,
Let
and
me
a
double
long
check.
rest is a week.
No, a long rest isn't it a rest in a safe place?
That's correct.
So technically, the Prancing Pony is supposed to be a safe place, but definitely Rivendell will be.
The
Okay.
Prancing Pony, given everything that's happening right now, is not considered a safe place.
Okay, but Rivendell will be. So.
All right, so if I used it now, I wouldn't be able to get it back until we hit Rivendell, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. You might as well just rest. I can
Yeah.
do the healing, the hands of a healer every short rest.
Okay.
I don't have a limited number of those.
Is there a natural rate of recovery, or is it just?
It's your hit die. That is
dice.
the natural rate
Okay.
of recovery.
Gotcha.
And you cannot recover hit die until you get a long rest in. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, this is a very low power, brutal game.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yep.
All right. Well, if we're gonna be resting again, then I'll roll another die, and I get the
And
D6.
I'll get you
on top of
another
that,
D6
right?
with that.
Yeah.
And if anyone else still needs to hit their maximum HP and wants to roll a hit die, let me know. You just have to be near me when you rest, and I will give you an additional D6.
Jesus, these rolls.
I'm only one short. I think I'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, you should probably save your hit die.
All right.
All right. Well, that's better. I'm only 2 below my limit.
All
I
right.
think if we are heading back towards the Prancing Pony, which I think Yucaliel at the very least is planning on it, I want to swing by the East Gate.
Oh, the East Gate is way past the
Well,
Prancing Pony.
yes, I want to
Okay.
go past the Prancing Pony, visit the East
Okay.
Gate before going to bed.
All right.
Can I come with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Goldie and Marigold, what are you two doing? Are you guys going to stay at Farmer McDuff's, or are you going to go back to the Inn of Prancing Pony?
I don't have a rapport with them, so I'll just. What do you want to do, Marigold? We're fine.
Helpful. Free in their kitchen, and then have them a breakfast at least baked in the morning before leaving, just because it's a good way to repay kindness.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So you're gonna stay with the farmer then?
I had planned on it. Yeah, I was just gonna try to do some chores around the house,
Okay.
just to
Well,
repay them.
they won't have any of
regardless
that.
of Marcy protesting.
Okay. They are fussing all over you, but you will not stop a determined young hobbit from cleaning. Goldie, what are you up to then?
I'll stay. Yeah, I'll stay with Marigold Island.
Okay.
After leaving someone behind and them dying, I don't want to leave Marigold alone, especially after they said that. Well, I guess they said that that it wasn't safe around there, so I'm just like not gonna leave my cousin alone. Hopefully, no one
Okay.
else is alone. Which question?
Hmm.
Are we assuming that Zurich is in his workshop? Or is he following us, just quiet contemplating today?
That previous day, he would have been in his workshop, probably tidying it up, pulling out his armor, becoming warrior Zurich,
Okay.
and basically tidying up his workshop so they can leave it in a state that is safe, I guess, and locked up. All right.
So he's
So
not dead in a ditch.
no, he's not dead.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Got your next short rest in. Following morning. Oh, sorry. Callie said you wanted to make a visit to the East Gate. This will be
Yes.
evening-ish. You and Turk are going out there. Maidhon, what are you up to?
I think Maidhon is going to go back to rest at the inn,
Okay.
just so he can do that hit die roll to recover some HP. I, as a player, have to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to
Yep.
excuse myself briefly. I'll be right back.
No worries.
Actually, I'll be back in like 30 seconds as well.
Okay. All right. I'll just go with you, Yucaliel, to the East Gate then.
That's fine.
When you arrive, it's evening. There's the gatekeeper out there too. You notice that there is also a warden standing there. A young boy, probably 18 years old. I think you might have seen him earlier in your stay at Bree. They both kind of see you approaching. They recognize you as the elf lady that stood trial just a couple days ago. They eye you with suspicion, but they don't say anything.
Okay. I nod respectfully to both of them and say, were either of you stationed here in the early hours of the morning, this past morning?
The gatekeeper speaks up and says, I'm here all the time.
Did you see either a dwarf driving a pony and cart out through this gate in the early hours of the morning, or two women, one of whom was probably looking very injured, the other was the schoolmistress, leaving through this gate on a black stallion?
Can you make a persuasion check for me, please?
Quick question to Mari: Would the cart have had Banks honey emblazoned along the side?
You could certainly paint that on there.
Actually, it might. In chalk, maybe, or Banks honey.
Also, is Turk actually here with me? Because if he could assist me in my persuasion, I would
Yes.
greatly appreciate it.
Sorry.
I need to know how you're assisting though.
Yeah. perhaps assisting in the descriptions that I'm
Yes,
giving, or
exactly. Fits right in with the Banks honey written along the side of the cart. Oh,
Gotcha.
Ted is a dapple gray pony as well. Nobody mentioned
Gotcha.
that. Dapple gray.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, persuasion. Is that enough to get me advantage?
No.
Okay. All right, here we go. Wonderful. Yucaliel, everyone hates her.
The gatekeeper just kind of looks at you. He's just so kind of he's like just been staring at you with this like dead stare. Just finally, as you give this description of who you're looking for, and just so what's it to an elf lady?
Well, the black stallion is my property, so I'm trying to recover it. And the pony and cart belong to this man's cousin. And I point towards Turk.
Callie, I think he's asking for a bribe. You might not be familiar with those in Elven world. Give him a silver.
Fine. I hand a silver forwards. If you've seen anything, I would greatly appreciate it.
He looks
The
down at
warden
this.
is right there, though, is my problem. Like,
He's looking at this one silver penny in the palm of his hand, and he looks back up at you and says, "How am I supposed to split this with my friend?"
does your friend have information? Because if he doesn't, why is it being split?
Tad. He motions for the young man to come out. Tad, you recall anyone that matches the description of this young elf lady? Who knows if she's really young? I've heard that they can live hundreds of years. But
Thousands,
yeah.
but yes.
And Tad is about to say something, but the gatekeeper just like literally puts his hand over his mouth. See, he knows something. He needs a penny too.
Can I make an insight check to see if the warden was about ready to say, "No, I don't know anything," or if he actually was going to say something?
Whether it
Yeah.
was affirmative or not. Yes.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead,
what I'm looking for.
Go ahead, make that insight.
Okay, insight check. All right.
You can see Warden's eyes are kind of like big, but you can just see his shoulders kind of come up in a shrug. He clearly doesn't know.
Okay. I kind of like look over to Turk because he does know more about like bribing people than I do, and I can't really say like clearly the other kid doesn't know anything, but I'm just like, should I give them more to split?
How important is this mission?
Fine. Okay, I will take out another silver penny and hold it out
Wait.
and say, I will hold them in my hands and I say, here are the silver pennies. If you provide me information, they're yours.
He's already
And I'm
holding
just, like,
one, right?
pinching them between. Oh,
Okay.
he's taken the one already?
Yeah.
Then I'll
Yeah.
just hold the other one and just say, if you give me information, then you can split this other. Like, if your friend has information, this can be split with him. But if not, you've already gotten your payment. What's your information?
His eyes are not leaving the silver penny in your hands as he says, "Yeah, I saw the dwarf. He left shortly after daybreak. Almost. It was very early in the morning. On quite a pace too. Seemed like he was in a bit of a rush. And then not more than maybe 10, 15 minutes later, seemed at most. As you mentioned, Miss Winter Moss was riding a beautiful black horse, with someone riding behind or in front of her. And he kind of starts reaching for the penny.
Master Gatekeeper, hold a second. Describe that dwarf to us, please.
The dwarf, he had a silly cap on, beard, dwarf.
What color was his hair?
Just kind of a mess of gray, brown, maybe some white.
That's not Jari, is it? Jari had red? Wasn't he red? Can we get the picture of Jari again,
Mm-hmm.
if possible? It's not on the handout, by the way. If you could add it to that would be wonderful.
1 second.
I think he has it as like a page.
1 second. Where is it? It's...
Okay, no, that it's just the light that makes that one side look red.
Yeah, I did remember it was kind of reddish tint, though. Yeah.
That could potentially be him. I kind of want to like try to get him to feed out the information that like this dwarf was like not very stout, like like he's a very kind of wimpy looking dwarf. But I don't want to say, otherwise he'll just be like, oh yeah.
Well, did he actually say? Did the dwarf say anything as he was leaving, as he was passing through the gate? Usually, the gatekeeper, you're talking to people to find out what they're doing, right?
Not if they're leaving. If they're leaving, that's their own business. If they're coming in, that and then I'm my job to ask questions. But no, he's just in a rush to get out.
And what how else was he dressed?
He looked like a merchant that had fallen on hard times, is to say.
And
While
that does describe Jari,
yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
does. While they're talking together, can I like I will hand the silver penny to Turk so that the guy is still focused on it while Turk is talking to him. And then can I like step to the side and try to like zero in on the young warden and see if I can kind of get a few words out of him while the gatekeeper is distracted with Turk?
Okay.
And I would like to roll to see whether he's lying or not.
Insight, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, I'm going to need Turk to make a persuasion check to see if he can distract the gatekeeper sufficiently. And I'll need you to make a stealth check, Yucaliel, to see if you can kind of avoid his...
My persuasion's not going to go well.
Don't worry. Mine wouldn't either. My
No,
stealth isn't great either.
Mine's worse than yours.
Oh shit! Sorry.
But you have the coin. You have the coin in your
It
hand.
must have come out of my hand, and he picked it up.
All right. Well, I'm still gonna try my stealth check.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's that a picture of?
That's the young warden.
Warden. Oh, freaking course.
2 natural ones. All right.
Oh boy.
You sent the 2 uncharismatic people to the gates to try to talk to people.
Okay. So, yeah, the gatekeeper immediately sees what's going on here. Although Turk is holding onto the coin, waving his hand. He sees you, Yucaliel, approaching Tad. And it's just like, no. Your business is with me. He's just here to make sure the peace is kept. If your business, as far as I am concerned, our business has not concluded yet. You still owe me a silver penny.
You have
A
my
deal's a
silver
deal.
penny.
A
If
witness.
you're not splitting money with him, you don't get the second coin. You
Oh,
said you were splitting money with him because he had information.
he takes the silver penny that's in his hand and passes it to Tad. And Tad's just holding it in his hand, like, what the fuck is this for? And says, there you go. A deal is a deal. Or shall I have the warden who witnessed our deal arrest you for reneging on it?
I wanted to check to see whether he was lying about the dwarf, though,
Yes,
as well.
go ahead and check that while I.
Yeah.
I think I will just turn to the warden and. Ooh, nice. Good insight, at least.
No. He seemed pretty genuine. The warden.
Okay.
About the dwarf.
I'll just
Give him
kind
a
of like look over at the warden and just give him the most disappointed look. Like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. That is the look I'm giving this young warden. And then I turn back to the gatekeeper and I say, if this silver is so important to you, take it. And I give it to him.
Yeah. Well, I do because you gave it to me.
Yeah. I motioned to Turk to give it to him.
Okay.
And also nonverbal communication. Basically, I know he wasn't lying, so I was going to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he takes it and rubs it in his fingers quickly and then shoves it into his pouch quickly. Well, there you go.
Did you see which direction they left? Did they
No.
stay on the road?
I don't know. They went out the gate. I closed the gate. That's my job. That's what I do. Their business is their own.
Well, their business was a crime, but sure. And I just turn around and I leave. I'm just like, I am done with these ridiculous people who don't seem, well, when it's their property, they care so much, but when it's someone else's, they couldn't care at all. And I'm just like, all right, fine.
Can you both make a perception check for me, please?
Okay.
Oh.
Perception. Come on. Oh, come on.
All right. You make it back to the Inn of the Prancing Pony. Goldie and Marigold. As you're sitting around, well into the evening, you can see Farmer McDuffie kind of sits out on the porch and pulls out a pipe and starts smoking. He invites you to join him. But you can both tell immediately from the acrid smell of his pipe weed that it is not from the Shire. But he's still smoking away happily. He says, "Can I offer you a puff? I don't know if Lady Hobbits smoke."
I will take my own pipe and I'll use my own leaf and I'll say, we do have some of the best leaf out there, and I feel like it wouldn't be kind of me to not share what I have. And I will pass them a little bit. I don't even know how much I have on me. Don't even know where I have it.
I don't think you smoked all 10 packs of your
Just
chain smoker.
yeah. And I also was carrying some because I was going to sell. So
Right. Okay, I'll
But
say
no,
no problem. You have enough to share with him.
yeah, I'll share some. Like, no need today, but like maybe tomorrow, whenever. Just
He takes
really appreciate.
he takes the pouch of dried weed and smells it. It smells pretty good. But I'm kind of partial to the Tunnelly's tobacco. Just it kind of grows on you, and they are a preeminent weed growers in Bree. They would likely tear my lungs out if they caught me smoking anyone else's weed. But thank you for your offer.
They'll probably do it anyway. This is not just to put a damper on them or anything. It's just a things. You guys really like my cousin's honey, and you know, you should just try other things out of the Shire. It's not just hobbits alike to eat and are good at other things too.
Can you make a persuasion check with advantage, please?
I
If
don't
she's-
want to like bend their arm.
If she's smoking a pipe, she has inspiration.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you have pipeweed lore. Achieve inspiration and aid in banter.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's the answer.
Yep,
I
it
was
is.
just-
All right.
Mhm.
Well, he's still holding the pouch that you gave him, and he still has his pipe going, but he's listens to your words and looks at his pipe and this little satchel you gave him, taps out his pipe, empties it out, and refills it with the air weed and lights it up, takes a long, slow draw from it, and looks his
Promise I won't
eyes.
tell.
His eyes go wide and says, "Oh, my, this is good stuff." And he keeps puffing away at it.
Like Radagast's face.
Was I, Marcinama, we must get ourselves to the Shire. The best honey, the best weed. What else are you hobbits hiding there? Why would you
That's-
ever leave the Shire when you have such luxuries?
Well, I don't know my cousin, but luxuries just make you comfortable. And sometimes a little bit of adventure is fine. It's been crazy around.
As you are sitting,
Part
sorry,
of
go.
it, being comfortable isn't being fulfilled.
Wise hobbits too. Wise hobbits that make good honey, smoke good weed. I mean, are you smoking as well, Marigold?
Out of her pouch and she's carrying with and evening out on the porch with all.
Which I hope is from a farm, probably free.
All right. See, Marcy joins you out on the porch, and sees the three of you smoking away, and I don't mind a. And she takes your pipe. And, I think I might just try some of this myself. She takes a long draw and starts hacking immediately. Smoke coming out her nose, her ears, are just like everywhere. And it's through the coughs and the hacks. This is very good. And she passes the pipe back to you. I think I'll stick to the honey. No offense though.
None take it.
And as you're sitting on your porch, smoking away, watching the last few rays of the sun dip below the horizon, you see the glint of red hair. Flaming red hair coming down the road towards you. Another young female hobbit. Sheriff Ruby Boffin.
How far is she?
You can just see the red hair from here. She's probably a good 100, 200, at least 100 yards away.
I kind of before we see that, as we were like getting into it, I want to just like, do you guys live so close to this that you might see some crazy things? Have you seen any crazy stuff as of late? I know you've talked before, but maybe You saw someone that you just remembered.
Oh, I mean, we live close to the ranger store, but I mean, usually those thieving bandits that just come in and out of that door most of the time. But just the other day, I swear I saw that gray wizard go through.
Those are strange things for sure.
There's a lot of strange happenings in Breed these days. Heads being chopped off, elves going on trial. Strange happenings indeed. And your cart being stolen, that's unheard of.
Mhm.
Indeed.
Troubles have come to Bree, it seems.
Indeed. And you can see him huffing his way through this weed. He's already like done it, and he kind of looks hopefully at you again. Goldie for another pouch.
Just one more.
Turn into a
Just
pusher.
when you go to my family, just say that I sent you around. Just so they know that I'm doing good.
He packs his pipe once more. It's really mellows you out this week.
Yeah, just like I kind of like whisper to Marigold. Should we stay? Do you see her? She's coming back. It's a nightmare. Maybe she has maybe she has information. Maybe
We
she
can
has
hope for
information.
information. Maybe, you know,
As
it's
that
just
thought crosses Goldie's mind, I'm just like gonna stand up and run. Well, walk. I've been running too much.
All right. Towards Ruby?
Yeah.
Okay. And Marigold?
Oh, I'll make my way down the steps of the porch and, you know, wave at her.
Okay. Well, she
Not
seems to
exactly
know.
my house. So.
Okay. But she seems to know exactly where you were staying. And she walks directly up to you. As she approaches you, she gives you a little wave and a little nod to the farmer and his wife. And says, sorry to disturb you on such late hour in the day, but I've come to find Goldie and Marigold. And she looks directly at the two of you. Do you have a moment?
Do you have information?
She looks kind of past you at the farmers and says, come, walk with me.
Farmer Macduff, this is one of our good sheriffs of the Shire, Miss Ruby Boffin.
And they
And I'll
wave. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I'm gonna give a little head nod towards Mr. Macduff and walk my way over to the sheriff to hear what she has to say.
Seems.
All right. She kind of starts walking away from the farm slowly. Just kind of glance over her shoulder, make sure you're out of earshot from the farmer. Goldie, and Marigold. I just want to, well, first of all, tell you I have some news about your brother, Goldie. But more importantly, I'm here to once again urge you to return home.
What are the news about my brother?
He was last seen in Stadel on the other side of Bree Hill. Apparently, he was looking for you, Goldie. I thought you might be staying with the Tunnelies there, but he never made it to the Smeal of Stadel, where the Hobbit community lives. I was about to head there myself to investigate further, but I thought you should know. I inquired at the Inn of the Prancing Pony, and they suggested that I might find you here.
I appreciate the information, Sheriff. As we said last time, my place is here, finding my brother. I appreciate the information again. But I started this with my friends, so I will continue. If I find more information, I will make sure to share it with you too and bring the news home.
She lets out a long sigh and then turns to you, Marigold. And you?
It sounds as if we have to head to the Smeal in Tunley Way, huh?
Mhm.
Nothing more important than family here. We're building that. We have that.
Speaking of family, where is that up to no good cousin of yours?
He headed back to the Prancing Pony earlier this evening.
Oh, I must have just missed him then.
Or he saw you coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give her my widest smile.
Perhaps.
He's hanging out with the murderous elf.
But tell him I'll be keeping an eye out. Keep him out of trouble.
We sure will. Question, Sheriff, where did you come from?
Well, I was making my way back to the Shire, to Buckland, specifically. But I changed my mind. I changed my mind and thought this was clearly quite important to you and Marigold, finding your brother, and I could not just bear the thought that you were still here and your brother was still missing and my job undone. So I came back to Bria and started poking about and found my way to Stadel and just came back this evening.
You didn't happen to cross the East Gate at any point, right?
Well, that is the way to Stadel.
Did you cross? Wait, hold on. Is that the gate? That's the gate that we didn't check. Because they checked while we were in there. Okay. Just making sure. Sheriff, did you happen to cross at some point a dwarf on a cart with a little pony?
I did. And I thought it odd. I thought I remembered seeing him with you. I thought he was accompanying you and thought it's odd that he was. Then she turns, mouth kind of hanging open, and looks at you, Marigold. That was Ted. That was your cart.
That was- Do you have any more direction than the east gate, than the east road?
Well, I did pass him just outside of Stadel, or maybe halfway along the road. I was headed back to Brie, and he was headed towards Stadel.
I'm just
Birds
gonna
with
look
one
at
stone,
Mary.
Goldie.
Sorry.
Emily's car.
I think your mic's cutting out.
Oh, shoots, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just saying, well, it looks like it's two birds with one stone then. You know, your brother out being Stadel way, or at least been known to be there, and Jari in the cart.
Yes, definitely. I think we should try to rush as much as possible. And I'm just gonna make a face to Marigold.
Ruby's turning to you, Marigold, and says, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I should come with you."
Mm-hmm.
I does your office give you authority beyond the borders of the Shire?
No, I have no authority outside Buckland, but I feel this is. I owe this to you. I owe this. I cannot bear the thought of a hobbit, your brother, lost. I cannot bear the fact that I witnessed the thieving of your cart and your pony, Marigold. I feel somewhat responsible. I insist. I'll accompany you.
Well,
Does she seem genuinely regretful?
Go ahead and
Or is
make
she
an
trying
insight
to-
check. And sorry,
You wouldn't know trust.
Marigold, your mic keeps cutting on. I don't know if you're trying to talk or not, but you're just kind of fading away.
I absolutely trust her.
Mm-hmm. No, she seems genuine in her intention anyway, from what you can tell. And she asked, "Will Turk be accompanying us?"
Yes, he's been of great help. He's been a great addition to the party. And I might say, we are not on our own, Sheriff. As well, you saw our group's quite large. I do believe that we can handle it. I am gonna look at Marigold for confirmation on that. But what is your next steps towards, I don't know, after here, where were you gonna go?
I was hoping to be able to convince you to return to the Shire with me, to Buckland. But now that I hear you're determined to go after your brother and your cart and pony, I'll accompany you. You are citizens of the Shire, and I'm a sheriff of the Shire. And although we are not in the Shire, I still feel responsible for your safety.
Hi.
And I don't trust that cousin of yours.
Well, do you have different information than we do? Because he's been just helpful in, he's been doing very good deeds. Maybe you just know him from another time. He changed. We all do.
He kind of gives you like a side eye, and it's like,
Trust everyone, y'all.
Must be cousin. You don't want to go there.
Oh, I am so excited.
so Marigold, sorry, I see your green light flashing, but I don't hear you talking.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with my mic sensitivity. It's just picking me up, I
Okay.
suppose, and I apologize for that. I'll just stay muted if I'm not.
Oh no worries, no worries. I just want to make sure we're not cutting you off or anything.
Yeah, no, I just out of habit, if I'm in scene, I unmute just to be ready. But
Okay.
all I was gonna say to the sheriff is that we were planning on taking the night here and meeting up with the rest of our friends at the Prancing Pony before heading out the East Gate early in the morning.
Excellent. Then I will meet you at the Prancing Pony tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Uh,
Just so
I-
you're aware, Sheriff, it is a large group. So we will ask our companions if they're okay. There's more than just this. The dwarf is, well, with another companion of ours. I do appreciate your help, and I do want your help, but it is not just up to me if we travel together.
if let's just say that I'm sharing the road with you, then I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Good night.
And she turns and waves again at Farmer Macduff and his wife, and she makes her way back towards the inn. So, is there anything anyone else would like to do this evening before we shift to the next morning?
Nope, I'm good. Yucaliel is just grumbling in her room.
Okay. All right then. The following morning, you all gather at the Inn of the Prancing Pony once more. We'll just say you got your Barthon hooked up to the cart, and you're trundling along. Where are you off to? Oh, Ruby's with you too. She's got her little satchel and walking stick with her.
So Ruby doesn't ride. She's on foot.
She's on foot. And she
Most
sees you.
hobbits don't ride animals.
No. And she sees you, Turk, and just kind of gives you the evil eye.
I'll wink back.
See, Sheriff, he's just a very good lad. Nothing's wrong.
So we've got the cart hooked up to Bathron, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So how many people can fit in this rickety cart?
Actually, probably all of you. There's if two of you are riding up front. 4 of you can be in the back. Plus, especially considering like 3 or 4 of you are hobbits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not a problem.
And it's a human cart. It's not a hobbit cart. So.
Correct.
Yeah. It's a cart sized for a horse, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Maidhon, do you want to ride up front or do you want to sit in the bumpy cart?
He'll ride up front, but like you'll see Maidhon like silently mouthing 1, 2, 3 as he looks from hobbit to hobbit.
Yeah.
He's like, have we sprouted another hobbit?
They've multiplied.
Yes.
I feel like at breakfast when we met up, I would have been like, "This is Sheriff Ruby. We met her before. You saw her. She would like to come with us because she saw Jari with our card. So
Good point.
she'd like to
Did
come with us.
did she happen to see a people ride past on a black horse like this one?
Did not ask that, but I'll turn to Sheriff. Did you
Well,
see?
when Ruby is here, I will ask her if she saw that.
Is the of yeah, it's quite hard to miss such a beautiful horse.
So you did see them ride past.
Were they going in the same direction?
She was accompanying your dwarf friend.
They were together?
Bitch.
They seemed to be. They were riding alongside each other.
Perhaps Jari isn't quite as innocuous as I first suspected.
Did you just use immaculate and Jari in the same sentence?
No, I said innocuous.
Oh, not.
I would not describe Jari as immaculate. Well, then we'd best be off.
Zurich is with us, correct?
Yeah, he's decked out in full armor. He's not the same
Yep,
stonemason.
ready to go.
He's got his. I think he's got an axe and he's got a chain shirt.
Yep. Well, before we leave Bree, is there anything any of you need to pick up?
Before we leave the Prancing Pony, I will go to Betsy. And such a shame that we lost our cart with our supplies in it. Is there a way that we can get something like some supplies? There's a lot of us, and we're gonna be traveling. We might get back. We're trying to get the cart back, but no one assures us that our supplies and food is in there still.
And bandages.
Yeah, is there a way, Betsy, you could help us? This is, such a shame it happened here, isn't it?
At the Prancing Pony.
Can you make persuasion check for me, please?
Oh man,
That's a Hobbit guilt trip. Which you can do.
I also didn't have my breakfast that I paid for.
Oh, you guys have your breakfast. Yeah. Okay.
No, but the breakfast the night before. They did not wake the right person.
Okay. I hear you. I'll have the kitchen prepare. You said you're going to Staddle. That's not even a day's ride from here. I'll provide you with 2 days.
No one says we're gonna have to stop there.
Three days?
Can I also have one of your pies? They're delicious.
Of course. It's not fresh, obviously, but it'll still be good. All right. So she passes out a pie to you, and you each have 3 more days of rations. So you have a total of 6 days of rations each: 3 from the farmer and 3 from the Prancing Pony.
We have over.
All right. And Goldie has a pie.
Not for long.
So you guys strike out past the east gate. You see the gatekeeper there, kind of giving you the evil eye, Yucaliel, as he.
Oh, I give it right back. I am done with these provincial people and their and their rudeness. So I'm just like, we're moving on.
You can hear him grumbling under his breath as he pushes the gate open to allow you to leave the cart. And as you pass through the gate and trundle along, those of you who are riding in the back see as the gate closes, the gatekeeper giving you the one finger salute.
I will call Fayandale to me as we leave the gates.
Okay.
And as a gesture of conciliation, I'll reach down a hand from the cart to ask Ruby to come and join us in the cart rather than walk.
Yeah. Ruby pauses for a moment as she looks up at you and the hand that you extend down to her, and she looks at your hand. Is it clean?
Of course, breakfast. Hobbits are always clean.
Okay, you can
I
see
might
a
have a
little.
little bit of baking grease on, you know.
She reluctantly accepts your gesture, and she reaches up for your hand and is pulled onto the cart. And as she does so, it jostles just a little bit, and she kind of like gets pushed into your arms for a brief moment, and which she shoves you hard back. He says, "Don't get any fresh ideas." And she takes her seat as far away from you in the cart as she possibly can. All right. So it is less than a day's journey. Are you driving at a safe pace, or do you want to push and move at a faster pace?
Do we think the cart can handle it? Like, I know we repaired it, but it's not like we made it pristine.
No. So it'll require an animal handling check or vehicle because you don't have vehicle, small land
Yeah.
vehicles.
I mean, if everybody wants to, I'm willing to try to.
It will be
make
made
it
a
work.
disadvantage.
So Maidhon is up front. He's got proficiency in animal handling, and
I can assist.
Yucaliel can assist. So
Okay.
that should just make it a straight roll, right?
Straight roll. And yeah, the reason why it's a disadvantage is because the state of the cart, despite Turk's excellent repair job, it is still an old cart. You did what you could make it functional, but now it'll be good.
Oh,
Just
God.
okay.
I had my one nat 20. You know, my one nat 20 for the season.
Yeah.
All right. You push a little more, and this is an elvish bred horse, like purebred, dragging a pretty junky old cart behind it, and it's perhaps a little too much horse for this cart. So when you drive it forward, try to pick up a little speed, you can immediately feel the wheels starting to loosen, the rattle. It starts to shake quite vigorously.
Vibration. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you this one chance. Make another animal handling check for me, please, to see if you can stop the cart in time before you lose a wheel. All right.
Good.
Turk
Good.
smoked
All
pipe for inspiration.
Like, wow, man.
Okay, yes. You feel that the cart's not going to... So for the rest of this journey, as long as you maintain your current speed, you should be safe. But if you try to push it anymore, then it's going to be... you're going to run into problems, most likely.
Gotcha.
All right. But a day goes by. Is there anything else? Anything you'd like to do all along the trip? Yes.
Perception check. Is anyone following us?
Go ahead. Make that check. Okay. No, the road seems quite empty. You are striking out fairly early in the morning. This is normally a busy road between Bree and Staddle. Merchants frequently pass back and forth between the two to conduct business. And along this road, this is the same road that you took to get to the graveyard. And you're kind of bordering along the south side of Bree Hill. Chetwood is up ahead, and the downs are on your right as you head east. But the day itself goes by uneventfully. You do pass the odd merchant here and there, but they all wave friendly at you and pass on by. But by late afternoon, you trundle into the village of Staddle. This is basically a small village that meets at the crossing of two roads. There's the Great East Road, cuts right down through the middle of it, and then there's a smaller north-south road that heads north into the other, to the east side of Bree Hill, where the communities of Combe and Archet are, and the Chetwood, as well as the Smeal Saddle, where all the hobbits live. Where would you like to go from this point? Do you kind of have a choice? Do you want to continue along the East Road towards Rivendell? Or where do you want to go?
Do we want to stop for a moment and ask around to see if they stopped here? Check on your brother?
Very much like that, yes. Rory said she had been here before, right?
Ruby? Yes, she had come here.
Okay. Sheriff, who did you talk with that mentioned that my brother?
Just let me find out who it was. So this is Ruby talking. It says, I went to visit. Well, Staddle has a large hobbit community. So I went to the Smeal, to ask if your brother had arrived there. I spoke with Grandma Tunley, and who is the Thane, is I think was what they call her. The hobbits who live here, and she had not seen him.
Do we have any leads? If he didn't arrive here, and we know where he was coming from, haven't we already passed through that area?
Mm-hmm. Do they have gates or something?
No gate. Well, no, not in Staddle.
Yeah, I think Archet has a gate, but not Staddle.
And I would like
there
to.
There is an inn called the Lamplighter in town.
We could ask there.
Yeah, we'd ask there. Also, see if they've seen a dwarf and two. If they've seen the schoolmistress from Brian.
It's possible they might have stopped here.
Maybe someone crossed them.
Okay. You head into the Lamplighter. as you approach with your cart, you do see a stable hand approach you to take the reins and take care of your cart if you want to go inside. So he says, are you staying the night or just for lunch
I
or
think
dinner?
just for
Actually,
lunch. What about
just for dinner.
or yeah, I think just for the meal. What do you all think?
Yeah, we need to keep going.
Yeah. We just
Yeah,
need
we
to
should
find
keep going.
information and then keep moving.
Okay. Very well. I'll just bring your cart around, and it'll be ready for you when you after your meal's done.
you.
You walk into the lamplighter. Sorry, is there something you want to say?
I was gonna ask to the stable hand. By any chance, have you seen a horse that resembled this, or a little hobbit cart and pony? Have they
N-
passed by for like lunch yesterday?
now
Anyone?
now that you mention it, yes, just yesterday, a cart and a horse as beautiful as this one, ridden by a lovely young woman, passed through. Um, they didn't stay long. They just had a pint and moved on.
How many women were on the horse?
It was a woman and her sister. She said her sister was very ill.
And they didn't mention where they were going. Did they stay?
They went east.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll be right out.
Okay. You walk inside, and this place is quite busy. It's filled with. Actually, there are more hobbits in this establishment than there are tall folk. As such, most of the furniture is hobbit sized, which is for at least 4 of you. The others might feel a little cramped, sitting on these kind of small picnic table type arrangements. A woman comes by and offers you all a pint, or half pints for the hobbits, and introduces herself as Dolores. What can I get you?
What's special for dinner? And questions? Well, we have the questions.
I would
we
like
have
to order questions.
we have
Never
roast
less.
pork and a beautiful apple pie for dessert.
I am in for it, so I'll just look at the tall folk and be like, are we eating or are we drinking?
How much would it be for the table? Since I've apparently Miss Moneybags over here, I'm slowly draining my funds.
Well, for a lot of you, it'd be 3 silver for a full meal.
All right.
Do you have the time? I just have 1 silver, so I'll just put it.
If you want to pitch a silver in, that's fine. Otherwise, Yucaliel will just she will just pay for it all.
Put my silver in.
Okay.
I want punch.
Maidhon will put a silver in.
Okay, then I will put a silver in, and that will be it.
All right. Is Yucaliel hiding the fact that she's an elf again?
Yes.
Okay.
Now that she is out of the place that she unfortunately had to reveal that she was an elf, hood's back up again. You know, she's hiding her elven nature.
Okay. Yes.
Are there any of my type there, gong farmers? I know it's probably very remote, but just in case.
Most of the people here that you look around are farmers. a lot of apple orchards in this area. There are some tobacco farms as well, but you don't see many other professions in here at this time that you can recognize easily anyway. Um, um, After a while, the meals are served to you, steaming hot slices of roast pork with root vegetables on the side. No one seems to be taking any notice of you. This seems to be like a crossroads for a lot of people. It's a waypoint for travelers traveling along the East Road. And there are hobbits and humans, as far as they know, so it's a good mix. No one's really raising an eyebrow at you or they're leaving you alone.
Do I recognize any tobacco farmers?
You can recognize them by the smell. More than anything, they all have a distinctive smell that kind of sticks to their clothes and their hands. Yeah.
Yeah, when you harvest, the tobacco leaves a stain on your hands.
I kind of just want to get close to when we're done with the meal. In maybe Marigold or Ruby or Turk would like to join me for a little tuck around. And I'll take my pint. And I'll go and say hi. Is anyone joining me? Because if not, I'll go. Fine.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Okay.
Ruby will come with you too.
Is she paying attention or is she watching Turk?
I'll go with Ruby.
No. I just want to approach and just. Good evening, friends. We just got here and well, we're not from here, as you can tell, and we are looking for my brother. And I know he's in. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen him, but maybe you've heard of a traveler or someone who maybe crossed them on the roads, or maybe someone left and found him. He's about yay high, looks a lot like me.
And he's a tobacco farmer as well.
Yeah, we're.
Can you make an investigation check for me, please? And because you have Ruby there too, who's also going to ask some questions,
Okay.
roll with advantage.
Okay.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay. One of the older hobbit farmers kind of perks up and, yeah, just what was it? 3 days, maybe 4, maybe 4 days ago, a young hobbit came through here, a young tobacco farmer like yourself. He said he was looking for his sister.
That be me. Did he say where he was going after? Brother of mine.
He looks over at one of the other farmers and says, Didn't you see him walking through your fields? And says, yeah, I think he was headed to the Chetwood.
Oh,
And
that's
then
not good.
the first farmer says, kind of lets out a low whistle and says, strolls about in those woods these days. Not a place for a sensible hobbit to be.
Well, he's not a sensible hobbit, I guess. Brother of mine. Now, did you guys come around here, you would say, every night?
No, regulars.
Fantastic. That's the folk we were looking for. Do you happen to see a dwarf and an injured human lady and another lady yesterday night? We're just
Um,
traveling. We lost a lot of companions.
um, can you make another investigation check for me, please, or persuasion? And just so you guys know, I'm experiencing a few brownouts here. So if I drop, I've lost power.
Oh,
I don't know if you see that
Oh.
light flickering.
Yeah, we
yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Persuasion or investigation?
Yeah.
Ugh. Nope.
Okay. Okay. Um, they do say we have folks come through here all the time. Dwarves, merchants. Can't really think of one that sticks out.
Yeah. Look the Turk and see if he wants to add anything because they didn't like me. But I really appreciate the information about my brother, I have to say. And have a good evening. I will march to the table back.
Okay. Ruby asks you, so shall we check out the Chetwood then?
We'll check with the rest of the companions and see what is our plan. I am not going alone on this adventure. This is how my brother got lost. This is how our cart got stolen. This is how our friend went. It's not good to go alone. If you'd
Is-
like to go. Sorry.
Is the Chetwood east of here?
North.
North. Mm.
So we'll.
So the Midgewater marshes are around there as well.
And
Right.
just a little east of, yeah. So there'd be Saddle, and immediately north of it is like the Edna Bree Hill. Chetwood kind of extends up on the east side of Bree Hill, and then Midgewater marshes are just east of that. And then you have Weathertop.
Yep. Go back to the table, and because everyone heard this table, person said that they were going east. So I'll just go. We'll go back. So they saw my brother going to the towards the Chetwood. Nothing assures us that he's still there. They didn't really have information about Jari or the other two. You guys have. Should we check with the innkeeper? With someone else? That's not a habit because, like, I don't. If they're eating, I don't think they'll be looking around much. They're probably like they're used to people coming in and out, so they don't really care.
Yeah, no.
So it is getting later on in the afternoon. It's almost. I have to check my little chart here that Vika provided. It is dinner time for the hobbits. Approaching dinner.
Just had food though. Just had apple.
You just had your food. You had your dinner. And your apple pie. Do you want to push on to
Eat
travel
every
through?
2 hours.
Do take breaks sometimes. They're not long, but I have snacks.
Very high metabolisms.
Yep.
Yeah. But
So do you
anyway,
want? Yeah, I mean, it is getting on night. So if you do want to travel, whether it be into the Chetwood or along the East Road, it will be night if you're traveling.
Well, I mean, I have the capability of camping along the road when we're traveling, so I don't have a problem with doing that if that's what we want to do. I just, you know, we're losing a
Unfortunately,
lot of time.
unfortunately, we don't. Well, have they? Well, the cousin's brother has gone into the Chetwood, as
Yeah,
far as
and that's the wrong direction for everything else. I don't know how Yucalia will feel about that because like she knows that it's important uh to it's Goldie's brother or it's Marigold's brother? Goldie's
Goldie.
brother. Okay. Um I know that, she understands that, family is important and all of that. But, you know, Yucaliel's looking at the big picture. She's like, we've got we've got world influencing events going on, and I'm not sure how far out of the way I want to go for someone's sibling.
they
But
trolls might be squashing him into jelly as we speak.
all the more reason not to go in that direction. But no, she doesn't say something like that.
I have a question. How far away is the Chatwood from here? Is it like a 2-hour ride?
You know, it
Like,
borders the
yeah.
town. Comes right
Oh,
up
So we
against
can
the
like,
saddle.
but we would be
so
going into Chetwood at night.
yeah.
I can see okay at night, but it could be more dangerous.
Yeah. So I will say that Goldie does not say um, that she wants to go that direction because she does understand everything that's going on. Like someone got a stiletto in their brains, like not 12 hours ago. So like, well,
Hmm.
yes, 12, but So she does understand the problem and that we're little hobbits. There is eagerness in the. So he's going towards the Chetwood. Yeah. And if like the conversation continues, I will turn to Ruby and talk to her. I don't know. I don't know if someone overheard their conversations. Maybe we can talk with the innkeeper. I don't know when registration is.
Well,
Okay.
Turk says to Ruby, Ruby, why would and I'm going to have to plead ignorance here. Your brother's name, cousin.
Let me find him because I got 5.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, it's the
Gerald.
second one.
Gerald.
Gerald. Why would Gerald be looking for Goldie in the Chetwood? Why would he even think that she would be in the Chetwood?
Well, he knows I'm a straw brain, so you know that'd be one. And I kind of just trusted the people that told me that he was going to the chat, but he was. I don't know. Why are we here? Ruby had no idea where he was going.
I mean, I know Gerald was worried about you, but I'm having a hard time thinking that he would have thought that you would have gone into the Chetwood.
I mean, Turk.
Mari, is that you?
I think last voice.
I'm not sure if it's your mic or not, Marigold. You just caught the first two words of that sentence.
Oh no. Okay, well, I was saying that, Turk brings up a good point. I can't imagine why your brother would be out this far. It's well past Bree, but it doesn't matter, Chetwood or not, it's still your brother.
Do you think they lied to me and they didn't see a hobbit go towards that way? Is that what people do?
Is Ruby with you? Are you talking to Ruby here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to her to get some insight.
Is these folk, these hobbit folk, may not be from the Shire, but they're still hobbit folk. It would be unlike them to be deceptive for any reason, unless they're from his lot. She looks at you, Turk.
What story you two have?
Yes, I'm looking forward to developing that as well.
My brother's last. Hold on. Let me reel back. I wait. But he didn't make it there. So Ruby, you didn't talk with anyone here in the saddle.
I spoke with Dolores, and Dolores mentioned that she saw your brother.
Oh,
But then I proceeded on to the Smeal, and no one there saw him.
no one saw him. Which way is this meal towards? Is it the
It's
Chetwood
north as
Road,
well.
or-
It's more. It's closer. It's along the hillside, the back hillside, the east hillside of Bree Hill.
Hmm.
We could certainly go there if you like. If you think that would help.
Well, I don't want to send Ruby. I don't want to ask Ruby to go by herself, but I also don't want to leave the group.
How far, like, how far across is the Chetwood? Like, if you were to ride from or walk from one end to the other end,
It would
that
take
be like,
you a couple days east-west and
okay,
much longer north-south.
okay.
They said they saw him 4 days ago.
Hmm. Well, could he have gotten lost? Do you know if your brother is very, very good at
Yeah,
navigating, or does he get lost easily?
he gets lost. That's why he stays home. He shouldn't have gone anywhere. Why didn't
My
he go to Peru?
Maidhon, you know the Chetwood, or have heard of it at least, and you know that's as far as forests go, it's one of the friendlier forests, but you can still get turned around in there very easily if you don't know your way around.
Well,
Was your brother Ruby was Gerald by himself?
As far as I know, yes, he had no one else. He was tasked by your family, Goldie, to find you and bring you home.
We would always go together on adventures. He never went alone. Ken, I'll go to the innkeeper. Are they humans or hobbits?
They're hobbits.
Okay. Okay. So I will go there. I'll turn around and just go. And I'll wait for someone to come around. And I'll just hi. I am Goldie Glandower, and I am looking for several people because I seem to lose everyone. First off, my brother, this very kind hobbits there told me that he came by like 4 days ago. Did he talk to anyone? He's about yay high, like all hobbits. Looks about like me.
Yeah,
About
I remember him quite well. Very, very, very kind and respectful young man. Um, it wasn't 4 days ago. It was close to 3 days ago. Not
okay.
that long. Um, but yes, he was came here looking for his sister. Um, can you make an investigation check, please, with advantage? Yep.
No. Just crossing
Yeah.
fingers for the roll.
Okay. He says, I remember now. Um, a couple of tall folk, a couple of men told him that he should look in the Chetwood for his sister. They look
Are they
like ranger
people?
folk.
Rangers.
Well, they were wearing cloaks and had big swords, dressed like rangers, and she kind of takes a quick glance over at Maidhon.
Are they regulars? Was this the first time you saw him? Them? The men? No, my brother.
I've never seen them before in my life, no. And we don't get many rangers come through here, these parts, but I assumed that's what they were.
Did they talk with anyone else? Did they stay long after, or did they just leave?
They didn't stay long. After your brother left, they left immediately after.
Is Goldie the only one who's over there having that conversation, or the rest of us over at the table?
I happily went away. I don't know if anyone followed me. I would not judge anyone, but
Okay.
Yeah, I said that I was going with cousin, so
Okay. I will wait until the information is brought back.
I'll run back and forth.
playing telephone. Um, um,
I feel like this is a trap. I'm just saying. I think that those people were those assassins, and they lured him in there and then immediately went in after him.
So can maybe is there anything particularly that a ranger might be identified as? Like, I mean, this person was saying, "Oh, they look like rangers," but I mean, is there anything that a ranger can say? Well, were they wearing this or?
Well, Maidhon can attest to this. A lot of times, people think brigands and thieves are rangers, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Uh,
Rangers intentionally don't like wear like tabards that have symbols on them or anything. It's just kind of like they
they
want
just have
to be
they
semi
just have elven
nondescript.
swords and
Yeah. Well, we only know that one of them had an elven sword. We don't know that more of them would have. And we now know that that elven sword didn't belong to him. It belonged to a ranger. So, I think if you're bringing that information back about those people that sent him there, because I think that was what was holding Yucaliel up, is she's just like, why did he why did he think it was a good idea to go into the forest in the first place? Who made him think that Goldie was there? And hearing this, she's going to be like, okay, no, this sounds like it might still be connected to what we're dealing with, and he might be in a lot of danger. So,
yeah. No, I agree. That's why I brought it up as well.
mhm.
before Goldie leaves, um, one more question about missing people. Did you happen to remember or see who a dwarf about yay high with a silly hat on, and then two humans, one of them very hurt? Um, do you remember them? Did they talk with anyone?
Yes, they were. Well, we have all sorts coming in yesterday, but yesterday I do remember them quite clearly. The dwarf was quite rude. Um,
Fits
didn't s-
description.
he didn't stay long. He just had a pint and a cold leg of ham and was on his way. And there were two women that accompanied him. They were quite cold and distant themselves. Didn't speak much. One of them looked quite ill. Um, but no, they didn't stay long at all. They just came for a quick bite and moved on, which I thought odd because it was nearing the end of day.
Did you talk with anyone?
No. And I'm sorry, um, this hobbit you're looking for, he's your brother, and you're the one he was
I am.
looking for.
Yeah. I was in Bree. I don't know why he didn't go there straight.
She kind
Mhm.
of leans in a little and says, I'm truly sorry about your brother if he has gone missing, but he would not be the first one to go missing in recent weeks.
Has Can you tell me more?
Well, it's not locals typically that are that go missing. It's usually passers, people who pass through. So unlikely that anyone even noticed that they were missing, unless someone would come looking for them. But we've had an entire family go missing. A father, his wife, and two children came through. Um, they're from the south, I think, but trying to make a home of things up here in Stadel or Brie. I'm not sure where they decided to settle, but they all mysteriously disappeared. And there was a merchant caravan that came through here. They were complaining how they had lost a couple of their dwarves as well.
Um, is it similar to what happened to my brother? Like someone strange talks to them and sends them.
No, no, not that I recall. As I mentioned, the two cloaked figures, rangers that I presume them to be, I only saw them that one time. And I mentioned people come through Stadel all the time. They come through Lamplighter, as it is the most hospitable inn and tavern uh, outside of Brie.
Oh, if we have still the horse and cart outside, it'll be a better state. Definitely. Um, Thank you kindly. If you remember any information or anyone, my brother or the rude dwarf, someone who they might have talked with, I would appreciate some directions. Can I go talk with my companion?
Oh, I do remember one other thing. The dwarf, he had a box with him. I would not let it out of his sight. Was quite possessive about it. I was tried to One of my servants tried to move it out of the way so he could serve him his meal, and he just growled at him. I remember that too.
Also fits the description. Thank you so much. And I will get up and walk out. And I'm gonna start using all the curse words that my brothers taught me, and that you'll never hear again. Shit, thanks, balls. And I'll sit back down at the table. How much information did you share, Turk?
All of it, right?
At what point did you stop playing telephone? And then there's everyone missing. There's all these people missing.
Do we know if they all went missing in the Chetwood?
No, but it'd be weird if people went missing all over.
Trolls have been pushing into the Chetwood recently, it's very possible that people are running afoul of them in the woods. I think it's a good idea to go in there and look for him, but we have to be ready to turn around and leave without him. Right now, we're already 4 days behind him, but we're only a day behind the others.
Is there anybody local who is, well, we have Maidhon with us. Is he intimately familiar with Chetwood, or is there a guide that we can ask for in the village?
He's probably not intimately familiar, but he definitely knows the woods. He's ranged all over this part of Eriador.
Well, Goldie, your brother would have been on foot.
Assume so. Yeah, they saw him through fields.
So he couldn't have gotten too far.
In 4
No.
days?
3. As you keep reminding us, we have short legs, so I don't think so. I worry that if you keep saying that there's trolls there, that we need someone else to go find them.
Well, remembering that there are trolls there, it's probably not wise for us to go there at night. However, the more time we wait, the more behind we are. So I am willing to go in there and search tonight, if that is what you want to do, Goldie.
Let's do some tracking.
I just don't want to put everyone else in danger.
We're all of us together. We can manage it. Even Ruby's here, right? I look
Yes.
around for the other hobbits.
Yes. Ruby says, most certainly.
Well, there you go. We have a hobbit sheriff with us. I'm sure nothing will harm us.
Famous last words.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? It's either that or we utterly abandon Goldie's brother and we get on the road. It's one or the other.
And you know we can't do that.
Exactly. So let's go into the woods.
Let's
All
go
right.
see what we can track down.
All right. So you leave the lamplighter and you see your cart still there, hooked up to your horse.
I don't think we can take the cart into the woods, can we? It's too dense, or is it fine for a cart?
Your cart's not going to work in the forest.
Okay,
No.
then I figure we should just go on foot. Leave the horse at the end.
Oh, you don't want to unhook the horse and have the horse with us in case somebody needs to jump on it?
What's the point? Only 1 or 2 of us could escape on the horse. And we shouldn't be abandoning everyone. So
Sorry to the venturing party.
yeah, this horse is large enough to be a boat and can carry everyone on its back. No, it's just a single horse. There's no point. Because it might have a difficult time in the dense woods as well. Like, horses aren't designed for forests. So
So, Maidhon, you would know this about the Chetwood. in ages past, it was the king's hunting grounds. They would often come in here with his hunting parties to hunt stags and whatnot. And you would know that Harry Talltree has taken it upon himself as a warden of the Chetwood
Didn't
to
he
keep
tell
it.
us we weren't allowed to come into the Chetwood?
No, he never did say that.
Okay, okay.
But
I
the
was
point
like,
is,
I hope we didn't get on his bad side.
no. But
Oh.
that's his job is to be warden of the Chetwood, and Terry Mack as well was apparently an expert in this part of Eriador as well.
Maybe we'll find.
Should we try to find out where he is? I mean, where he lives? Maybe the locals know where he lives, and we can use him
That's
as a
something.
resource.
I felt like he was a roamer, but he might have a little cottage or a hut somewhere in there. Yeah. Yeah, we can ask that before we leave.
Ask around, all right. Yeah, everyone here knows of Harry, and he lives in Archet.
So he doesn't live actually in the forest. Okay.
Well, Archet is actually in the forest.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Archet is it will take you most of the night to get there. It is a distance from here.
but it's on like actual roads, right? Like we don't have to.
There is a road there, yeah, and the road takes you past the Smeal of Stadel, north along the east side of Bree Hill.
So do we want to head to him and get him to assist us so we save some time? Okay.
We're going through the forest anyways, so
yeah. Well, if
Sure.
yeah,
Maidhon, you were saying something?
he said sure.
Oh, okay.
Ruby.
Could I?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, could I have asked which way was their field that my brother crossed to see like which entry he took, and if it's like on our way?
Similar direction, yeah. Near the Smeal of Stadel, there's a bunch of tobacco fields. That's their primary industry there. But Ruby speaks up and says, I want to find your brother as much as you do, but it is late at night. Archet is almost all night we'll be traveling. We'll be exhausted by the time we get there. Would it not be better to stay here the night and travel during the day when we're rested and perhaps less danger on the roads?
I will defer to everyone else's opinion. The more we sleep, the more time passes.
But it wouldn't do my brother any help if we find him and we're about to die because we're exhausted.
But what if he's a captive right now, and they're coming up with different ways to cook him?
Well, fine, let's go.
Well, it's been 4 days, Turk.
3.
If I thought they said that they saw him 4 days ago. Oh, I guess like having gone into the forest. Okay. But even so, if they were planning on cooking him, they wouldn't keep him for 3 whole days. They might talk the first day and then he would be done. Trolls are not known for their patience and self-control.
They might be marinating him.
He'd still be dead.
Okay.
We're not.
All right.
He's fine. He's alive.
So you're deciding to. Okay, if you're going to keep your horse and your cart here in Stadel, it's going to cost you like a copper a day to board them.
Well, can't we take the cart into Saddle then? Because Saddle, is it? Saddle?
Archet?
Stadel is where we are now.
Yeah, unfortunately, the way the road goes, it goes north towards Archet, but once at a certain point in time, the locals will tell you this: you cannot take a cart into Archet. It's a footpath.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine.
Okay. So, but you're going that night. You're all willing to take that point of exhaustion.
I don't know. Like if you guys want to rest, I'm okay with it. Because the first point of exhaustion, we're gonna start having like disadvantage on things.
Yeah.
Yes. What are the ramifications? How much disadvantage, or how often?
On ability checks and attacks, I think.
So our tracking ability is going to be
Mhm.
reduced. So
And attacks? Wow, that's fast.
And that's initiative as well.
Like she was able to take the messenger out of her room while I was asleep because I didn't get to sleep.
mhm.
What, you know?
Yeah,
So
we can rest.
when would it kick in exactly? Like midnight or
When you arrive in Archet.
so we
Yeah.
won't be
Well, we would be going to Archet to talk to him, and then from that point onwards, us going into the Chetwood to try to search, we would be at disadvantage.
so it's
As
still in
opposed
the
to
future. Yeah.
yeah, as opposed to sleeping here,
Yeah.
then going to Archet, talking to him, then going into the woods without disadvantage.
Yeah. So basically, once you get to Archet, you'll be exhausted. You probably want to find a place to rest once you get there before striking out into the Chetwood.
And if we have to convince or talk to someone,
Yeah, I mean, we can do that much, I guess, if you want. We can just walk to Archet, try to find somewhere to sleep or camp outside, and then deal with talking to Harry in the morning.
Yep, sounds good.
I'm
I'm
okay
for
with that. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you all strike out. Heading north. You pay the copper. Actually, sorry, it's 2 copper per day for the horse
Okay.
and the cart. You pass by Smeal of Stadler. Beautiful hillside covered with little hobbit holes. Very nice little community with, you see tobacco fields, kind of almost on like terraced fields going up the back side of the hill. That'll be on your left as you're traveling north, and on your right is the Chetwood. The Chetwood itself is made primarily up of deciduous trees, broadleaf trees, kind of wide spacing between the trunks. It's not like a crowded Fangorn type forest, but more open space, enough for like large game to run through. By the time the evening comes, the roads are quite empty, but you get to Archet uneventfully. Eventually, at some point in time, the road kind of veers off into this footpath, which is no more than like an animal trail almost. It goes straight into the forest for several miles. You arrive. This is probably around pre-dawn when you arrive at the walls of Archet. And it's got like a wooden palisade surrounding this building, this small village. You can see tree houses, small, kind of nestled amongst the branches above you. And you do see movement up there as you approach. You hear the bow string, that bowstring being drawn, and a voice call out to you in the darkness saying, "Who goes there?"
I'll look around if no one says anything. We're just travelers. We want no harm. And I'll look at the tall folk. I'm not scary. You are.
We're traveling from Staddle. We're trying to meet up with Harry Talltree. We've been traveling all night. Can we come into the village?
Do you know Harry?
After a fashion.
Yes, we
More
do.
of Harry.
We
And
have met him.
and who are you so that I can announce you properly?
I look over at Maidhon.
Maidhon, also Maidhon called Steel Eye.
Steel Eye. One moment. And you see what looks to be like a shadowy figure climbing down the tree behind the palisade. And you seem to be waiting there for what seems like an eternity, but really probably about 20 minutes. Before the gates of the town open up a crack, and you see Harry step out. And he, again, kind of just has thrown over this big, heavy leather kind of jerkin and holding his monstrous woodcutter's axe, which you don't think is going to cut down any tree, but more like cut people in half. This thing's huge. And he just stares at you. He looks at you, Maidhon, particularly. So what brings you to my village in the woods, Master Ranger?
We've come to ask your help with a matter of some urgency.
I imagine it must be at this hour. What is this matter, and why does it concern me?
This little one, and he'll point to it's Marigold, right?
Goldie.
Golden.
Goldie, my bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's names.
It's these names, they're too similar.
Us tall folk have problems keeping them all separate.
This little one, Goldie, her brother was perhaps. We think he was tricked, right? Into
Yeah,
going
we
into the
think he
woods.
was tricked.
We believe that he was tricked into going into the Shetwood alone, and he has not been seen in 3 days. I recall that you are master of the Shetwood and quite familiar with its with that particular forest.
I am a warden, not master. It is a
I'm
hobbit.
sorry, I the player used the wrong term.
Okay.
He told us what his title was. I
Yeah.
misremembered it. Warden, you said?
Yep.
Warden of, yeah, you know, you said that you were warden of this forest. We were hoping that you could help us find the wayward halfling.
3 days.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, there's little likelihood that he is still alive.
Be that as it may, we have still promised her to help find her brother. We could certainly use the assistance.
You, with a sword that is not his own. The man who wielded that before you was my friend. He knew these woods almost as well as I did. Tell me how you come to be with that sword now, and I will decide whether I will help you.
Maidhon will recount everything that has to do with how he became in possession of the sword. He will tell him about the stranger who had it in his possession. How he, or at least it was Maidhon's, apprehension that he was going to use it to kill or harm the messenger that was under. I can't say it was under his protection because he didn't even know who she was
She
at
was
the
just
time.
injured and unarmed.
Yeah, an injured and unarmed woman, and he will say, "My companion here."
Way to throw me under the bus.
It's the truth. My companion here felled him with her bow.
He turns to you, Yucaliel, and says, "So you have slain one of these assassins, then?"
So you understand that they are assassins.
I understand that they are leading unsuspecting innocent people, and perhaps your brother, to their doom.
I did suspect that. We have come across these stiletto-wielding assassins several times already. As a matter of fact, the woman that you protected the other day,
Maidhon will just turn around and show the still healing wound on the back of his head and say, "Did this to me."
with a stiletto, just the same as those assassins.
Can you make a persuasion check, please, with advantage? Maidhon?
Which
Maidhon's
one of
doing
us?
it? Okay.
Maidhon's doing it, yep.
Thank God. Yucaliel's not good at persuasion.
Well, Maidhon is not particularly good at it either.
I'll give you a Rhymes of Lore if you want it.
No, 14, not bad. He looks closely at your wound, and then he turns to you. The school teacher did this to you.
Yes, I was rather surprised as well. And it's not often that I'm surprised.
Well, it would
And
seem.
sir, I saw her speaking the black tongue to a wraith in that cemetery, I swear.
A wraith that I struck down with this sword.
That is not your own.
Yes, we've been over that thrice now.
Details.
However, it is fortunate that it came into my possession. As you well know, going up against a wraith with mere ordinary weapons is hazardous.
At this point in time, the sun has started to come up and just starting to touch the tops of the canopy of this forest. And Harry says, and you're still standing outside the palisades. Just come. We have much to talk about. And he invites you in to the walls of our chat. And you see a lot of buildings in here, about 20 or so, steep, kind of inclined roofs, thatched in nature. The fence and palisade is more a bramble thicket of felled logs and huge branches kind of all piled up together to form a rudimentary palisade around this village. You see a number of platforms kind of all above the village in the canopy with scouts in each of them, all of them with at least one archer visible. He invites you into his home, so probably one of the larger homes in this community. Offers you some tea. Doesn't have much in the way of breakfast, but just plain bread and tea and some cheese. And he looks to you specifically, the hobbit, and says, "I'm sorry, this It's a poor excuse for a breakfast, but it's the best I can do in such short notice. Please accept my apologies.
I'll take out some of the food that I have. It's okay. We come ready.
And share it with him. Yeah.
Thank you for your hospitality, and I hope um that more than he's dead we can get to.
He looks at all of you and says, "You have traveled the night to get here. You're in no shape for what lies ahead. You must rest first. Because if you really do want to see if your brother is alive, we have travel ahead of us tomorrow, deep into the Chetwood. There's an old fortress on a crumbled tower on top of a hill from ages past, now in ruins. I have tracked a troll there. And I suspect that that is where these assassins have been leading those who are unsuspecting, including your brother. So rest up. And we'll leave at first chance.
Does
Understood.
anyone sorry. Oh, oh. Does anyone have a clue why the assassins might be working with a troll?
I doubt they're working directly with the trolls. They're just using the trolls. But why? I'm not sure. Something has been calling the trolls away from uh, their normal stomping grounds. Maidhon told me about that on our journey to Bree.
He looks at all of you, the four hobbits in particular, and he says, "Have you ever fought a troll?"
Yes.
The hobbits haven't. He's asking them.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
That's
bad.
right.
I misheard that.
Life. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. In another life, yes, I as a hobbit did fight a troll.
No, sir, but I think there's very little I wouldn't do for family.
Well, let me tell you what you're about to face. And he puts down his great axe. They're as tall as a mountain, and their skin is as tough as stone. They may not be bright, but they're clever in their own way. They can squash you with one hand and not even know it. You would be the jelly on their toast.
And it sounds like we need to just be smarter than them. Should I offer myself as a bribe or as a bait? This is Goldie speaking. It's not. I mean, is he taking them alive for a little bit? Does he? They were talking about marinating, and I'm a little worried. Does he let them out to dry? Do they kill people instantly? Because if not, I could distract them.
I will recount to you what I have seen at the base of this tower. Not only have I tracked this troll and his trail of destruction in and around this tower, but I've also seen what looked to be men approaching and leaving the ruins. Perhaps those who you suspect are working with the troll for whatever reason or designs of their own. But I also see troll prints heading east towards the marshes. More than one pair. Why would assassins be interested in your brother, young hobbit?
Might
Why?
they be? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, why would they? Indeed. And I will look at everyone and kind of stop at Zorak and at Marigold and then go back. Is towards the marshes where the dwarf and the other two went to, right? Like that direction, but through the road? Okay.
I think they're using your brother as bait for us. That doesn't mean we still have to rescue him, but we need to go in with open eyes.
But they're taking other people. And the innkeeper said that it was usually people that were not going to be missed, like a family and a merchant or dwarves.
Practicing.
When you mention the family, Harry kind of perks up in his family. Was his family a man, wife, and two small children?
That's what we heard.
That's what the innkeeper said, yeah.
And also some dwarves missing.
Yep.
Well, I cannot speak for the dwarves. I have only tracked one set of dwarf footprints. But regardless, the family that you speak of, I believe the man was seen later in Bree.
Do you know who this man is? Their name?
I found him running through the Chetwood Lost. He called himself Diremok.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why does that? Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Wasn't that the name of the assassin that went after Zurich?
Oh yeah, it was a dwarf too. No. He was a human. He was
But
human,
he
right?
was.
He was human.
Yeah, I thought he was a human. Yeah, but he ended up getting murdered.
But he was originally an assassin.
Yeah, he was an assassin.
Ah, but maybe they kind of turned him because they had his family.
Well, he did seem reluctant. That's why he
Yes.
didn't try to kill Zurich.
Yes. So
Do we think that they're going to try to turn Goldie's brother into an assassin?
Oh no,
Manchurian Candidate.
what's Manchuria?
Yeah, what's Manchurian?
But yes,
Uh,
they coerced Diremok.
yeah. Well, I'm sure his family isn't still alive since he a Mordorian candidate. I'm sure his family aren't still alive since he refused to do the job that they sent him to do. This is so confusing because if they're trying to bolster their numbers by, you know, coercing people into being assassins for them and sending them back, then there's only so far that can go. Like, that only works for 1 or 2 actions. Some of these people seem much more entrenched than that. I do
It's
think
more
that we
likely
need
that
to. Go ahead.
they're it's more likely that they're using these people as proxies so that if something goes wrong, it won't
Won't go
easily
back
lead
to
back to
them.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this dwarf you mentioned, or dwarves?
We had heard that 2 dwarves had gone missing. Members of some merchant company or something.
I cannot speak to 2 dwarves, but my scouts did report. I tracked myself, a single dwarf. This
What did the
was
single dwarf look like?
perhaps a week ago.
They turned him
What
too.
if Jari was turned? And that's why he's hanging out with us. I have no idea.
Who is this Jari?
An annoyance, honestly, but
No, I think he wasn't as such.
he is a dwarf that is connected with our friend dwarf here. Look over at Zurich. Um, and part of the reason that we were out here to begin with was he had absconded with the hobbit's cart and pony, along with something that belonged to Zurich. But then we found out that he was traveling alongside the schoolmistress and a messenger that I have sworn to protect, having stolen my steed. So, for some reason, they must be connected, or she's trying to hide herself by joining him in his travels. I don't know.
This this dwarf, was he annoying?
Very.
He had
Funny
long,
hat.
yeah, so funny hat, steel braids in his beard.
Very slim for a dwarf.
Indeed, yeah, I believe we are speaking of the same
Oh, he had like, yeah.
dwarf.
Soft hands.
We tracked him leaving the Chetwood about a week ago.
A week ago. So he must be in cahoots with them, indeed. Well, then they must be going together somewhere, and we need to find out where. Unfortunately, we need to find Goldie's brother.
I think it's a whole package. Them
Yeah.
and Goldie's brother.
Well, the problem is, if we travel through the Chetwood to find out if Goldie's brother is at this fortress, that's going to take us a lot of time. While those other 2 groups are traveling along the road much faster, heading further east. Even if we go through the Chetwood and head towards the marshes, we are going to be days behind them.
Where where is like I don't know anywhere around here. Is the tower past the marshes?
No, it is close to the marsh, within a mile of the marshes. It's a full day journey from here.
Do you know what would it take us to do it from the road to there? From the whatever road's the closest to?
From the East Road, the Great East Road.
Hmm?
Oh, it would probably be about a day from the road, too.
But we are, however, far away from the roads.
Yeah, so it's actually faster at this point since we're here, just to
Mhm.
go straight there.
Yeah.
However, at some point we have to circle back to Staddle because our horse and cart are there. But we should rest, and then
Yes.
we can head into the forest.
You shall need your rest, and he looks at you, hobbits, and he says, he looks at Ruby. You plan to fight a troll with that stick? And what do the rest of you have, aside from the man with the stolen sword?
I have a bow and a dagger.
I also have a tiger shirt.
And I have a short sword. And a slingshot.
You said that Zurich was all kitted out, right?
Yeah, he's got like a battle axe.
Yeah, he's got no worries about the Zur. He's just looking at the hobbits and mostly concerned about the hobbits.
Mm-hmm.
Then he turns to you, Maidhon, and says, "You truly are a ranger of the north. You know the perils that your little hobbit friends are about to face tomorrow.
Yes.
Perhaps you should dissuade them from going." This is not a game of hide and seek. This is life and death.
They have faced off against a wraith. I feel like you should give them more respect.
A wraith, you say?
Yes.
It's like Maidhon is not even speaking when he addresses this dude. He explained all of this in detail already.
Yeah. He's saying,
I think he's just being cocky.
a wraith slain by the sword.
This is true. But we cannot leave them here because we need to go further forward. Ever onward. We cannot leave them behind.
Also, sir, if I may, we might be small, and I for sure I am scared. Scared. I don't know how to speak English. But I'm not a coward. Neither are them. And if it takes a troll, then at least we're not alone. We are short, sure. But we can hide, and I'm not gonna leave my brother behind. And now is. So here's the thing. I'm coming with you or I'm going alone. If I go alone, I'll probably die. So I hope I'm going with y'all. And I'll sit
He-
back down scared.
He smiles for the first time since you have met him, warmly at that. I've been told many times of the bravery of hobbits, but I only wish men had the same courage you showed. That he picks up his great axe. And just make yourself at home. We leave before sundown. That he kind of lumbers out of the room, and that's where we'll end tonight. We'll pick it up there in a couple weeks. In 2 weeks, that'll be the last session of the year, and then we'll pick it up after that on January 7th, if that's okay with everyone.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Just bleeding all over myself here. Any? All right. Oh, looks like
Oh, so we're gonna shift the week